All right. All right. Welcome everybody to the third Momentum Mod dev team Q&A. Really happy to be doing these. We got some fun stuff to talk about and show off in this stream. We're going to be showing up some gameplay. So we'll see how that goes and, gameplay capture and live demos and stuff like that. But welcome. I'm Goknak. I'm the project lead. Development lead, working day and night on this thing, but loving it every single minute of it. So yeah, I'm joined by some lovely people. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Yeah.
I'm Zofa. I act as the production designer. I coordinate with the artists and the different department heads for the different disciplines that we have going on in this project. Level designers, artists. That's who I am.
Yes, next on the list is me. I'm Bray. I mainly just do programming, boring stuff, but it's
not
fun.
too boring. You make the game. It's the
yeah.
code behind the game, yeah. And then Happy, I think.
Oh, yes. Hi, hello. Name's Happy or Alex, call whatever you want. I will do music, sound effects, and probably Russian localization. That's pretty much all.
He's our resident Ruski.
Yeah, Ruski here.
Yep. And then there's me, XB Man. I'm a mapper and stuff. I work on documentation, web development, whatever kind of needs to be done. Yep.
And I'm False. I make models, and I'm also the campaign lead for the jump sections.
Nice. Yeah, so let's go ahead. We'll jump into our first question here. Just a reminder, everybody in chat popping in, we always answer questions asked in our Discord server. So make sure to join the Discord server and ask questions in the Q&A-live channel. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this first one.
First question is by Cawu asking, what is everyone's favorite color?
Hard-hitting questions first. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna pick the very, very stereotypically trans answer of pastel pink. I don't know. It's nice, right?
Not bad. For me, it's orange. I don't know. I really like orange. It's grown on me as a person. It used to be kind of like, I don't know. It used to be like red before, but yeah.
I've got to say Momentum Blue. It's the best color ever made.
That's the right answer.
I would say
that's the right answer.
I'll say Momentum White.
Ooh, okay. Just go through our color palette.
Off-white.
Yeah.
Yeah, off-white. There we go.
Slightly.
I think for me personally, gray has become my favorite color. It's grown on me over the last few years. It just meshes well with a lot of great other colors, so it fits well.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite, but I remember the saying that I think white is gonna be my favorite because white makes other colors. So it's kind of a
Gotcha.
favorite.
Yeah, it is. It's every other color inside of it. Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. All right. I guess BLT, if you wanted to jump in as well.
I'm gonna say Chaos Red in case that the rest of the team sees this.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably my answer.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. So hopefully that answers that, Cawu. Thank you for that question. We'll move on to the next hard-hitting question. It's a bit of a detective case, actually.
Yeah, it gets pretty deep. Quest is asking, where is my son?
I sent him
quest-
Q&A live.
I think you should be looking for him.
Is quest the name of the person, or is this like an actual quest?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe he's giving us a quest to find his son. Oh man, are we leaking the Momentum Mod campaign storyline right now? The world may
Son
never
is
know.
Momentum Mod? Momentum Man, I mean.
Yeah, Momentum Man is looking for Momentum Son, maybe. Let's find his son. Thank you, Quest, for this question. Yeah, all right. So we'll move on. And now these are the, less hard-hitting questions. But no. All right.
Our next question is by Goth The Pole asking, what is your guys' favorite feature in the game right now? What about the ones that will be added in the future?
Well, I'll go first. Yeah, I'll go first. Playing whatever map you want, whenever you want. That is one of the main features why I'm making this game, because no other platform really offers that, along with all of the benefits that would come from Momentum. So just being able to just play whatever, right? Like if you want to grind a map forever, you can. If you want to, you won't get RTV'd off of a map. You don't have an hour time limit on a map. Stuff like that. You aren't at will of, or at the whim of somebody else. Now, obviously, you could pay VIP or whatever on servers and get that, but I just think that alone is going to cause a lot of people to be able to just really get good at a lot of different modes, and that's what I'm really excited about. Is just seeing people being able to play whatever they want, being able to really delve into maps as much as they want to, right? What about you guys?
I'm most
Mine has
excited
to
about
be-
savlocs. They're the most useful for mapping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're super useful when mapping, and you don't want to put teleports everywhere before you make your map you're just blocking out, so you can just do jumps
and also just
levels
hitting C and going to spawn.
resetting. Yeah, I like the no ping,
locations
honestly.
are
Yeah.
the best in my opinion, or my favorite. Save locations come in clutch just for practicing, testing. Just makes life so much easier. That in combination with no clip, both of those two are my favorite. With Momentum and just any game in general, just having the ability for no clip.
Yeah. And
I think I'm gonna say
no, you can go ahead, BLT.
I think I'm gonna say campaign, probably the campaign and the tutorial, because it's pretty hard to get, at least in my experience, pretty hard to get other people who never heard about it to get them to play any movement modes. And I think having, and especially if you're going on a random server and then the map is pretty bad and you're trying to tell them it's or hard, trying to tell them, not every map is like this, there's other stuff, but it's probably gonna be way easier if there's a proper tutorial for it, and then a few campaign maps that start off easier and become a bit more difficult, and it's a bit more curated. I think that's probably gonna be a pretty big feature that I can finally get some friends to actually play movement modes.
Yeah, that's very true. The learn and so the two aspects, right, is the campaign with tutorials leading into the maps that you kind of learn all of the mechanics naturally, versus the learn section, which is just purely the mechanics and kind of learning how to do, for example, pogo, right? Like pogoing in rocket jump and sticky jump, or, juggling in Conc or something, right? Having all of these features centralized in one spot to be able to learn and repeat and kind of grind out, but then also potentially search for maps that have those, right? So yeah, I have to agree that obviously I'm really pumped about the campaign. That's 2.0, right? That's going to be the best future, I think, feature is, right? No servers have a campaign. You can't really do that, I guess, in a server unless everybody, I guess, beats the map and then votes for the next map in the campaign or something. But it's I think that campaign and learn section are going to be probably the best future features that we'll have, for sure.
I can't wait for a good hammer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. kind of shifted more towards like playing the game and more towards like or more away from playing the game, more towards like making stuff for the game. And I don't know, I just want a good hammer.
Yeah.
Make some cool stuff.
For me, at least my favorite feature in this game, if I remember correctly, there's a way to, for example, play a hop as a jump, for example, with like a jump presets or whatever, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
override,
really-
game mode overriding.
Yeah, I really like this idea. I can defrag my a hop cost. It's
Yeah.
really fun. Like, you all gotta try. It's really goddamn fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it also makes playing maps that might not have the prefix really easy because you just change that convar and you can just play like the mode that it's intended for. And it doesn't break cube maps, right? It's the main thing with renaming maps, right? It just breaks cube maps, but yeah. Is there any other responses for this one? All right. And for the record, I am not in my kitchen. I am actually in the basement hallway. The place that my desk would be is where I work. I work from home, so that kind of explains the background situation that I got going on. Just in the hallway. So anyway, moving on to the next question. Thank you, Goth the Pole, for that. Really actually fun question to answer because it's hard. It's hard to pick one because you could also go on and on, but yeah. All right.
The next question is Sash asking, will XP be scaled from the place, like your rank, and will it be scaled on a map you've beaten?
I think it depends on cosmetic versus like rank XP.
Yeah. So yeah, it does depend. It's so the two systems that we have, just kind of recapping. We have the cosmetic XP, which is just beating maps, beating your PB, winning races, winning tournaments, stuff like that. Will kind of give that, it fills in the gap of your PB being your rank points. So the rank, like rank points, rank XP, whatever we'll end up officially calling it in the future, that rank, like that rank points that you get is actually dependent on where you place. So it's like cosmetic XP is like how much you've played Momentum, like you played and beaten a lot of maps, or like, you know, completionists will be kind of going for cosmetic XP, or people that want a specific cosmetic. But the rank system and rank points and things like that is purely based on how well you do. So if you have a high rank, I guess, if that makes sense, like a high game mode rank, that means you're really good at that game mode. But if you have a high cosmetic XP, that means you've played a lot of Momentum. It doesn't necessarily mean, you played a lot of A-Hop or something, right? Like you just played a lot. So XP only, I think currently only scales based off of if it's your first completion and tier. And I think that's currently the two main factors. If we had Ox in the chat, we do have a document that kind of has all of the different components of kind of building the XP table. But it's never like the XP, like cosmetic XP that you gain, is never variable. It's always going to be a fixed value. It might, decrease over time if you keep grinding something, because we want you to play more than just grind like one particular thing. But at the same time, we want to reward people that are like going for IL world records or maybe a map world record, right? We want to give something for that, because if you get all the way to the end of a map but never actually get to the end, you aren't getting the rank, right? You keep resetting, but you could be hitting checkpoints or stages along the way that give you maybe 10, 50 cosmetic XP, right, per time you hit it. So things like that, where the cosmetic XP is more based on just like general playing the game. It's never going to be variable in the sense of like, oh yeah, you had 10th place and now you have like 50th place, you have less cosmetic XP. We're never going to do that. You gain the cosmetic XP and it's forever, in your, I guess, like level, right? It's forever tied to your account. But the rank points will depend. So if you go from 10th to 50th, you will lose rank points. You will go down on the leaderboards, down on the overall leaderboards, right? That's a pretty big drop, right? That's like from top 10 to like group 2 or whatever. So come back and hopefully beat the 50 people that beat you. So yeah, so it's a good question. There is that discrepancy to make, right, between like, yeah, there will be that kind of completionist. You're always going to have it. We always want you to have the rank XP and the cosmetic XP, and we don't want that to ever decrease. And the rank XP, we want you to be competitive. We want you to have the most rank XP you possibly can, right? So that's where it's like you will lose, and it will be scaled based on precisely what rank you have. Now, what Hex linked in the chat is the document, I believe, that is for the rank points. I'm not sure. You could probably confirm that in chat, but it is the rank points, and that is, we have a couple of systems in place. So we have top 10. It's like the group system and then like a general static formula. So we have groups, and the top 10 is like group 0 basically, and it's based on a static point value from world record all the way down to rank 10. And then groups, which expand out to I think 5. I think we have 5 groups. And then those expand based on completion. So if there's only like 200 completions of a map, the group sizes are smaller. And I think we might not even have the 5th group. I forget if it expands like that or not. I'd have to relook at it. But yeah, the idea is that the more completions there are, the more competition there is, the more you have a chance to actually jump the groups, right? And that's what we want to try to promote, is like improvement in between groups is okay. We want you to do better though. We want you to jump that full group, right? To get up into that next tier. So eventually going for world record, right? So hopefully that kind of answers it. We'll have more, I guess, details and solidified kind of like documentation around how our rank point system works. It's been a lot of contention. It's been in design for, I think, years. It's been debated by people that have come from KSF and other places. So it is definitely not final, because obviously the game's not out and it's not being heavily used, but it's being designed in a way that it can accommodate any minor updates, because the nice thing about the rank point system is it could actually be re-implemented on top of whatever, right? So long as you have the data, right? And that's kind of what the first maybe couple of months after 1.0 will be, is we're just going to be looking at the data and see who has rank points and how people are gaining them. And yeah, and so for the most part, we're not really concrete, like this is it. That document is not like the final ever implementation ever. It might be tweaked, it might be adjusted to give maybe more leeway, more freedom in between groups, right? So that you have more of a motivation to actually improve incrementally, because that's typically what people might do. But we don't know yet, right? We don't have the data. So that's the thing, is a lot of it will be kind of tweaked after we gain more data. Hopefully that kind of helps answer this. But yeah, so just to clarify, XP, which is kind of more referring to the cosmetic side, is never going to scale based on rank. It will only scale based on like how hard the map is and what activity you're doing, right? First completion versus, normal completion versus repeat completion, events, challenges, things like that. It kind of scales based on what you did. And then it's a permanent unlock. It permanently goes in your record and does not decrease or whatever. It's always additive. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. We'll move on, but unless did anybody else have any input on this? All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Sash, for that question.
Our next question is by P, asking us, how will the leaderboards work for the higher tick rates?
Yeah, so we'll have common tick rates. So I guess for surf, 66 and 100, and I think 80 something.
80, yeah, 84, I think.
84,
85,
85, I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, so there'll be run flags. So the way you can kind of think of it is when you submit a time for the map, we kind of like log whether or not it was done like half sideways or on a specific tick rate. And then you can just filter the leaderboard. So it's really kind of the same leaderboard, but you're just kind of viewing it differently, if that makes sense.
And to keep in mind,
would all be,
oh yeah, go ahead.
These would all be just kind of flags that get attached to the runs, and I think by default we would have it filter to just like the default tick rate.
Yeah.
And then you can optionally like look at the different kind of flags, add them in.
You can combine them too.
Yeah.
Like I guess, but what would I think backwards, half sideways is the thing where you can kind of see you just turn both backwards and half sideways on. That would be nice, but I don't know if it's gonna work like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see like a half sideways run at 100 tick rate by just playing with the filters.
Yeah. And by default, they're, the leaderboards are not, so those leaderboards might not be ranked. We'll see how popular specific like tick rates and stuff are, because we can always make something ranked in the future. The system is in place for that. We don't go based off of temporary data, right? We go based off of just the runs that you do. So if things are proving to be really popular, we can actually make them be official ranked leaderboards. But yeah, for the most part, higher tick rates or just more regulated tick rates are going to be run flags. And so as people want to do runs on specific tick rates, we could add them as run flags and then enable it in the game. Keep in mind, tasks is going to be a separate kind of leaderboard altogether, in its own kind of section. It's like its own like mode of each game mode. And that will also allow you to kind of go to like 1,000 tick rate and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely like it's not going to be on by default. It won't really be advertised. You'll kind of have to go into the filters to see them. But otherwise, yeah. Right, we'll enable them. You can filter it. You can make basically the leaderboard that you want to see on a map for any game mode. And yeah, ideally, right? I know the tick rate changes is more that it's more of a thing in Surf and Bunny Hop, like kind of those game modes. Like I don't think Rocket Jump and Sticky Jump would want to change tick rate. I don't know if it's going to break stickies. Actually, I'm a little worried if like higher than 66 tick would break stickies on like every map. So we might, even make them more optional, like maybe even not even offer them for some modes because it might just break them. But we'll see. But yeah, absolutely. Higher tick rates, different styles of playing, they'll be considered run flags. And so you just filter for them. Basically what Braid said. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. Did anybody have any extra info there? All right, we'll move on to the next question.
Our next question is another question by Goth The Pole, asking, in the campaign, will there be more than 2 ways to make it to the end? Will there be a harder route to complete that gives you some kind of reward?
So I'll talk about this. Campaigns, I don't want to spoil it. Like that's the main thing is like I want people to kind of go in kind of blind. So if you don't, I guess want to get spoiled, then I guess mute the stream for a bit. I'll talk a bit about it. The really like what we really want to try to do is so each of there's five worlds, right? Each world has around 10 or so stages, and each stage is a BSP. So the idea is like you have your hub world, you have your 5 worlds of like that you go and play, and then the idea is that each of these hub like world kind of areas has 10 stages and then a kind of final stage. And the idea is that the 10 stages, the normal 10 stages, are pretty linear. It's up to the mapper. Like, it might not be extremely linear. Some modes kind of have to be linear. Like, there's only one way to really rocket jump through this section, right? Or something like, it depends how it's done. But I believe Ox is looking into more of a defrag style of map where it's more open, but there's multiple routes, and sometimes it's not very clear which one's the fastest at first, and maybe playing through it and route craft or theory crafting routes and stuff comes up with a faster and faster route. But the idea there is that sorry, let me move in. Posture check, by the way. So the idea there is that each of those stages, as you beat them, will get saved in like an internal state for that last stage. of that campaign world, and that last stage of the campaign world has obstacles and different things in it that become solid when you beat specific stages. So think of like the really easy route through like the last stage is only unlocked if you do all 10 of the previous stages in that world. So then you could think of like speedrun routing, right? Of like, okay, let me do stage 2, 4, 5, and maybe 7, and that unlocks this like shortcut route that's faster, right? But it's harder to do or something. So we have a lot of really, really fun ideas on how to make like that last stage of each world unique enough to that you could actually have a different way to complete a world than somebody else does. I mean, there's going to be a finite combination, right? And some won't even work, right? Like beating 2 stages and going into that final stage to beat the world is like, yeah, you can't beat it because you didn't do enough. So, but there will be a threshold of like, yeah, you could probably beat 3 or 4 stages, but it's going to be really difficult to beat the last stage. But that could make for an entertaining speedrun, right? Because it's like you weigh off, or like you weigh, am I going to be able to do this really hard shortcut, or am I, should I just do more stages and have more safety net around like completing it? So it is more of a speedrun sort of thing. But I think this also offers an incentive for people to go and play every stage because, yeah, I mean, we're going to ideally have a story as well, and we want players to eventually delve into that too, and that will require playing every stage. So yeah, there is going to be 2+ ways to make it to the end. Not every map, because it's more of a restriction. Some maps are going to be more teaching mechanics, right? It's going to be kind of just like, oh, here's a curve, a curve for the surf ramps, and you have to curve along surf ramps or something. So stuff like that, where it's like it's going to kind of ease you in, but then as it gets more and more, it's a combination of all the mechanics, and so it's just you kind of pick and choose. But ideally, people play everything and find everything there is to have in the campaign. So hopefully that answers that. Going more in detail about it's going to start to spoil what we have in store. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on, I think, unless did anybody else have any details to talk about here? It's all good if not, because campaign is just like, we really don't want to spoil too much of it, because it's like we have a lot of really great ideas that it would be better as a surprise or kind of just discovered as you play it. So I'm personally really looking forward to getting the campaign out, because yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome if you don't spoil the experience.
Dang it! I keep breaking my NDA for our campaign.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but as a musician, I'll add that it's gonna be fun to make music for the campaign.
Oh yeah.
I won't go into details, but
yeah,
it's just gonna be fun.
Yeah. I guess hint is if anyone has played Portal 2 and has played on or noticed the sound effects of going on a paint, like speed paint or bounce gel or anything, we have that system now and we're going to be using it. So that's all I'll say about like kind of the music stuff, but yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun time. Yeah. So, all right, we'll move on. Thank you, Goth The Pole, for that question. Hopefully that kind of answered some of it.
Our next question is Sash asking, what would happen if the Momentum mod servers were to shut down? Would we be able to host our own version to the servers, or our own version of the servers?
So the API is open source, and so is the old version of the game. So in the event that the API is just gone, like you would just have to kind of modify the game to point to a different one.
Yep. You
could always host like your own alternative Momentum mod if you really wanted to. And then everything else is Steam networking. So it's not very reliant on us hosting stuff other than like the maps and the content, I guess.
Yeah. I'll add that the only closed source thing is going to be run verification. So we're going to kind of stub it in our public website repo to where like on our actual production servers we hook it up. But the main thing is like, yeah, in the event that our servers or whatever go down, the website and all the code, assuming that's still there and we aren't feeling like an apocalypse scenario or something, if the code is still there, you can definitely host your own version. And then there is a command in the game that lets you change the API endpoint to somebody else's. And it could be yours, it could be a local host. That's how we do local host testing. We just change that string to localhost. So things like that where we have the ability for you to be able to change it. But now keep in mind that we do want to entrench our platform, right? We want to make sure people aren't like willy-nilly hosting their own versions of Momentum Mod everywhere and being like, play on mine has a more fair point system. But at the same time, right, that's how point systems could be actually like tested if we want to go that route of like, yeah, sure, like you could have like people play on somebody else's server and like submit runs and like, but it won't, keep in mind, it won't submit to our website. So yeah, but you can definitely host your own version. The asterisk there is going to be, we're not obviously going to open source all of our data, and we're not going to open source our run verification and anti-cheat. So it'll be stubbed, and pretty much I think like run verification will be disabled in like a config, and you just have to either implement your own or whatever to like it'll by default just accept any run like it currently does. So yeah, that's always a backup. We can't open source our game code now, so that kind of sucks. But that endpoint being there can be hooked up to anything, and we are absolutely keeping our website open source. We are not closed sourcing another project except for the anti-cheat, for obvious reason there. But yeah, is there any other input on that question? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Sash, for that question.
Barbi, our next question is Barbi asking, how will the game work with offline mode? Will speedruns still be logged?
Yeah, so you still will be able to play offline. It'll be similar to 8.7 where you can play the game, but you won't have any like online functionality. I guess one of the more annoying things about the 087 eval build is the map selector doesn't have local maps, so it's a little limited in that way. But I think our new map selector design is going to account for that. For playing offline. But speedruns will definitely not be logged offline. There's just too much exploiting you could possibly do with that.
Yeah. I didn't know what logged meant in this situation or in this question. If you mean like logged on our site after you reconnect, no. Way too much abuse. Basically what Bray said.
Replays, you'll have your replays.
Yeah, exactly.
Replays, you have your local leaderboards for each map. So
yeah,
you can still record local stuff, but you can't upload it after the fact.
Yeah, precisely. It is important that you should be able to play what you have locally, right? We should never take that away. We're going to even look into maybe caching the map zone files locally, so that when you play a map for the first time, you have the map file and the zone file and like everything you need. And then it's just a matter of making sure the UI is maybe disabling the right things and not checking constantly, Steam stuff, and that you get like a shit ton of errors in the console because it can't find Steam or something, right? So we have to make sure that we're conscious about that. We will do a pass, I think, closer to 1.0 that kind of helps that. And then something related to this too is the Tuesday maintenance that Steam undergoes. I want that to eventually become the only thing that goes down during that period is lobbies. Right now, authentication depends on Steam being up, but we can actually bypass it. There's a way for us to kind of do our own kind of encryption via Steam still, but not via a web request. It'll save our server doing a web request to verify you. we'll definitely still have like authentication working without Steam, and that you can still like log in, download maps, submit runs and stuff. You just can't play in lobbies when Steam is down. So that's ideally the route that'll go. Can't really do too much about that. Steam has to go down for maintenance unless they eventually get to the point where they have, I don't know, an A/B situation of like put everybody on A, fix up B, put everybody on B, fix up A, whatever. But yeah, that I'm sure they probably considered that. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully that answers that. You will still have everything locally. It won't submit anything. It won't be queued to submit or anything like that. It'll just be all local. You can still play though. Still enjoy your maps and stuff. Cool. All right. We'll move on to the next question.
The next question is Facade asking, how will the RNGFix work for the game? There's a bug right now that gives an insane boost, but is now pretty integral in some servers. Will you be preserving this bug?
So I guess I'll just answer this one. We do have Rio working on tuning RNGFix to work better for our game. We are going to have it. We have kind of a rough implementation right now. It's a little wonky. It doesn't work exactly how it did in 087, I think, still, too. We do need to fix it, and we're going to be working with Rio on that. I think it is important to have, consistency, and that's what RNGFix is bringing, right? Consistency. The bug, the kind of insane boost, right, going up slopes, that kind of just yeets you right all the way to like the end of the map or whatever. That is probably not going to be in the game, and so that's where we have to be kind of diligent about this, because that's also where we're getting people saying that momentum feels harder, right? That's an aspect of it, right? We don't have that really cheesy, unrealistic boost, but in some ways we're going to try to find a good compromise. So like, again, a fun fact about that insane boost, we used to have it, and people said that it was like, it was overpowered, and it was unrealistic, and then other platforms added it, and now it's normal. Right? And now we're like with the dilemma of like, you guys didn't want it, and now we like so that's the main thing, is like we want to Rio is working closely with Ox, and I'm gonna be working closely with Rio on implementation of his work. The nice thing about the game code still being open source and not archived or whatever is that it could be used for platforming all of these fixes, and then we can bring it into our game, into the closed source chaos repo, and then ship it with the game, right? And that, that's easier for us to do than, to try to get Valve to sign more NDAs to bring people on, which we could do in the future too. It's not very frequent. So, we'll be looking into maybe, bringing on more people in the future too. We just have to wait a bit, cause they're like, you just got access, yeah. So hopefully that answers that. It's, I know the main thing to keep in mind is that Momentum is a fresh start. Right, we're based on CSS. We're pretty close. We're a good map testing tool, but eventually we're going to get to the point where we're our own kind of platform. We'll have too many features that can't be cross-ported. Right, we're gonna very soon, and even in this stream, you'll see we have portals. Right, we're gonna have a lot of stuff that doesn't work on servers and is different from servers, and people are gonna have to just mentally deal with that of like, Momentum is its own kind of thing. So yeah, eventually, right, using Momentum to practice for a server isn't going to be realistic either, because we're going to just have different implementations of plugins. Well, not plugin, but the code of plugins, right? And so it's just not going to be comparable. But yeah, so hopefully that answers that. We will have RNGFix. It's probably not going to be the exact same found on servers. And just keep in mind that we are a fresh start, and hopefully, again, the baseline is the game feels really good to play. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel too punishing or anything, right? We want that nice balance of really fun, really good movement, first and foremost, right? And then maps will kind of just be fixed or ported, the way that it works for the game. So hopefully that answers that. Did anybody have any comments on this? All good. So we'll move on. But yeah.
I suppose a follow-up question to that is Molly asking if there are bugs that are used by the community, should they stay or try to be fixed? They are bugs after all.
Yeah, so I don't know, it seems to me that the only kind of usable bugs would be relating to like gameplay, you know, how you move, how you shoot. But Momentum is pretty different from other games in that, you know, we're not making our own gameplay. Really, we're just kind of taking it from all these different games and trying to, you know, build a platform for them. So any kind of like usable bug, I guess, in that scenario is kind of definitely should be fixed or would affect like the competitiveness of the mode, I guess, or the one-to-oneness. Yeah, so yeah, those would just be like unintended differences between, you know, our game and the platforms that we're or the game modes we're providing a platform for. Yeah. So I don't know if there's like any specific bugs that aren't worth fixing, but for maps though, it's a little different. We'd like to patch up some maps as much as we can. It's probably more on the mapper themselves whether or not they want to, you know, revisit a map and fix like I don't know, some bad route or something.
Yeah.
But we definitely, yeah, like for some maps, like remove dev routes and other nasty things like that. But yeah, I don't know if they're kind of like a bug in a similar way.
Yeah.
We did have a pretty similar question the last Q&A, I think, about like
what to allow.
Are we gonna
right?
fix up maps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like yeah. It's yeah, like the main thing that we want is just a consistent gameplay experience, right? We don't want maps that rely on really hard like one tick, you know, only bugs or something like that, because that just it demotivates people from even trying.
Unless you play Rocket Jump.
True.
Want them, I guess.
Yeah, that is true. Rocket Jump relies on a lot of bugs. There's like bounces and C-taps and stuff that there's a lot of bugs internally with the engine that has just become accepted in like technically Rocket Jump wants ramp bugs because it allows you to stick to walls and like Surf obviously doesn't because it makes you stick to a surf ramp. So it's pretty hard to kind of balance that, but we want to make a consistent kind of movement across all of the modes, because when you start to kind of dig into the niche of bugs and mechanics, right, is something like we have the liberty of saying that it isn't a bug, it's a feature, right? It's a mechanic that we can teach. It's a teachable bug, I guess. And also we have the ability to kind of patch out things like that. So there's right now it's kind of case by case basis, but the main thing that I look for is whether or not the bug, first of all, is going to be relatively easy to patch. The other thing that I look at is, could we offer mappers an alternative? Can we make a trigger? Can we make behavior that's consistent that could replace it? For example, bounces rely on TF2's hitbox basically like hitting the ground before you actually trigger something on the ground, and then jumping and, you know, rocket jumping off of a triggered ground because the trigger is 1 unit wide. At the same time, right, Surf and Bunny Hop, where you're going through the map, you don't want to hit the ground that should teleport you back and then be able to jump off of that. So we need to fix it there. So it's like, do we offer this kind of solution where like you can hit the ground, but the moment you jump out of the trigger, it teleports you, and that's the one hop trigger, right? But then that complicates things of like, how do you set up bounces to where, or, you know, things like that where it's fair, right? How do you make it so that you don't make it overly engineered for mappers to cause a jump or a bounce in a specific way? So it's all about the balance there, but it's a lot to weigh in because we want the game to feel good. We don't want to make a bland or, you know, not as one-to-one kind of game mode as possible, but we have to make sure that we're competitively consistent. And ramp bugs and stuff like that are not competitively consistent. They happen randomly to people, and we want to remove that. And that frustration, if we can reduce frustration, that can raise competition, and that's what we want. We want competition, fair play all around. If it's something that's difficult to do, that's where it starts to get into more of like we need more information. Because if it's difficult to do and people are just lazy and don't want to learn how to do something, versus is it just tedious to do? Is it something that's actually random, right? Like literally random. There's no chance, like there's a 1 in 2 chance that I'll get this thing or I'll fail my run. That's not what we want. We want to get rid of random chance. We want a level playing field. But we also want that difficulty. We want mechanics that take some training, that take some practice, right? So hopefully that answers that. Bugs are, yeah, like there's obviously very clear bugs with our game of like, yeah, the movement's not feeling right because we, you know, are still based on some old CSGO code and we have to just overwrite it or something. So there's stuff like that we're gonna fix for sure. That's no question. But there's those bugs, that wall bugs and like the movement mechanics that have kind of been adopted by the modes that are a bit harder. So it's more of a case by case basis. So hopefully that answers that, Molly. Thank you for that question. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one.
Juice is asking, what will be the extent of modding, the modding ability people will have? What will the workshop look like? Could people make mods that enable traditional multiplayer stuff, or the ability to completely make new game modes?
I'd say I don't think you could make a mod with multiplayer functionality. I don't know our stance really on whether or not we're going to allow people to mod. I mean, why not? But I don't know. But for multiplayer functionality, at least, it's pretty much a hard no. A lot of all of our networking is just not set up in a way that would be possible. I mean, completely new game modes would be fun, but that sort of thing would probably be post-campaign, so I don't know how long that would be. I don't know, like a year plus,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, so it's pretty far down the road. As for the workshop, I think we talked about it, and we kind of had the consensus that maybe HUDs for the workshop, but like maps and things like that will be done through, you know, our site, and yeah, not through the workshop.
Yeah, that's pretty much nailed it. Something to keep in mind is we want to make competition be, you know, standard, and to allow so much modification to where it alters the game can go against that. But at the same time, we don't want to stifle creativity. Like, we don't want people to feel like they're cramped. But like the way I want to frame it more is like we want people to ask us to add stuff because we can. Like, it's not, you're not playing on TF2 servers where you can't add anything because the plugin would need to alter game code. We have game code now, right? We can alter the game in any way that people want. Now, at the same time, right, that creativity is still being stifled because it's not everybody being able to modify the game code. But at the same time, it's like we can add some really consistent entity behavior through entities, right? And we can add modes if, you know, if it's desired and wanted. I think around, like, obviously right now the stance is pretty much no mods, really. We're mainly focusing on making mapping a much more streamlined, enjoyable process with entities that can make maps feel like other game modes maybe, or have mechanics that aren't previously available in other games. But at the same time, we don't want to, I guess, like promise that we're gonna be Gary's mod for movement or something, right? We don't, because that's not how I view Momentum. I view Momentum more as like a curated, straightforward way to play all of the modes that we support and compete and, you know, improve yourself, but also compete against other people. So yeah, it's like it kind of sucks, right, that we don't have that much flexibility for mods, but I really hope that people are open to asking us to add stuff, because we can. And, you know, we have a team of devs that are very attentive and very much want to add things, right? Like you know, game mode or anything that people would want. We can discuss as a community too, because that's the other thing too, is like if you open the floodgates there, it's more of like a quality control thing of like, right, like what happens if people just like make parkour but like less grav or something. You know, like it's like what level of modability makes sense in our game versus like what's too much and what would just lead to garbage, right? Because that's the other thing too, is like the moment you open floodgates on like workshop and stuff is the moment that you can get garbage. And so having it be more curated, a more curated experience, that's way more open, right? That has way more like flexibility of like maps being able to be added, and just mechanics that we can add for mappers that want them. We can add shaders and stuff, right? Like we can do things that mappers are like, I want my map to look cell shaded, and we add the cell shader, and then now the map can look cell shaded natively in the game. Stuff like that, right? Like that's the kind of approach that I want people to see this as, and not like, hey, we hate mods, go and learn Hammer, that's all you get. It's more like we want there to be avenues for this to be also applicable to everyone, because that's the other thing, is if you add a game mode or something and it's just like, you know, specifically through a workshop or something, you have to go and find it, and discoverability becomes a problem too, versus like, oh, it's natively in the game. It's like, it's all there, with official documentation and stuff like that, right? So, yeah. Hopefully that answers that.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's more of a like a reminder to Goknak, people don't know probably that, but I am a moderator of Mod Workshop. This is not advertisement. And this site is
not
all
sponsored.
about modding. It's all about modding. It's famous for its Payday 2 mods, but just keep in mind that we really open to like new games and stuff like that. So if you ever want to, I know like you're gonna have you have forums and stuff like that, and you probably have access to the Steam Workshop, but in case if we're gonna somehow, I don't know, able to help you, just hit me up. I'll talk to our team there, and maybe we can make some kind of collaboration or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that ties in with the community outreach, right? Because it's like there's some level of like, we could have like, you know, people could upload skins and stuff to like Game Banana. Like, we're not against things like that, where there's like some level of like, we don't have control over what's being out there, because obviously, right, I don't ever want to try to control that, but also you can't. But like, yeah, having it be on Mod Workshop or our workshop or Game Banana or any website like that, where we could have, you know, people kind of upload or share their things, and that spreads the word of the game around too, to those corners, and, you know, brings people in. Yeah, I mean, so like the thing is, like, user created content is what makes a game live long, right? The moment that you can play anybody's stuff at any time, right? So like, that's why it's like, you know, we want to be curated in our official stance, but like having a subsection of like, you know, unofficial maps, or, you know, whatever people would want out of our game, that maybe might not be in other games yet, like Trimping and was it Beggar's Bazooka, are kind of these two modes that are like being talked about and theory crafted right now, because, you know, like it doesn't, I mean, it lives in TF2, but it's more niche, and so you have to think about like, what's the cost of like developing that versus implementing it in like if it's already done, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a balance, and so we want to find the right balance to where we build our brand as a game, right? That is curated, that you can go and have a consistent experience. It's not Gary's mod. I got to find a server that's doing, this specific. It's you play the game, you find the things you want, but you could dig deeper if you want to. Like there's that level of there is that level of unofficial maps or maybe stuff on Workshop that you can bring in and look at. That is appealing to me because that gives you longevity as a game, and I want there to be longevity. We need to support map creators the most, right? Like that is our content of our game right now. And so that's why we're trying to primarily focus on just things that mappers and players can ask us to implement directly into the game. And from there, weigh whether or not it's worth the effort right now versus maybe in the future as the game develops and matures more. So, yeah. Did anybody else have any input on that? Cool. All right, we'll move on. Thank you. Sorry, Juice. Thank you, Juice, for that question. Hopefully that's a satisfying answer. I know I rambled a bit, but yeah, hopefully that helps. But all right.
Our next question is from Ark asking, would also be possible for modifications to your player model? Will it be possible for them to be visible to other players in online lobbies?
For unlock models and skins through the cosmetic shop, yeah, of course. But custom ones is a little iffy. It's I mean, you can imagine what the same people that make those very interesting TF2 sprays would do if they could change the player model and have other people see it. So yeah, it would just be very difficult to regulate that kind of thing. I mean, maybe for community servers, but
yes.
Yeah, for community servers, but yeah, I mean, even then you could have might want to keep an eye on those things because that could shine a pretty bad light on us if something were to happen.
Yeah. You pretty much
fill in the blanks there.
So that is the balance. The other thing too is you have to weigh if anyone can make anything visible at any time, what purpose is it to get any of our cosmetics, right? You have to make the cosmetics in our store worth unlocking. And I talked about this in the last stream. If it's not worth it to get something from the store, nobody will buy it. They'll just modify the files because it'll be shipped with the game and have it set, for their override locally. And then if this is in place, it would be online too. So it would devalue the cosmetic system that we would have in place. So no, but dedicated server, dedicated lobbies could have custom content. And so in which case, yeah, you'd have to play on just that lobby, right? It's not any lobby, it's just that lobby. And then it would be accessible through, some sort of plugin or some sort of HUD element there of you can change your player model to whatever you want on the server because it has these different models that it networks to you. Now keep in mind that, it won't, dedicated servers and stuff are more of you have to manually join them and know what you're getting into. And we'll definitely be sure to kind of convey enough of hey, you're joining the server, it could be downloading content to your hard drive and stuff like that. So there is going to be that custom asset stuff because we want people to be able to kind of create some, even if it's not official, and be able to kind of play with their friends with it. I think that would actually be pretty funny, because you could also do some online aspects of that of you're playing on a lobby and just imagine the Scooby-Doo gang be hopping through a map or something, something ridiculous like that. I could see that happening, and having workshop support for that kind of stuff too could be pretty good. Just custom models that are used on dedicated servers or something. So that way we aren't hosting, or the server itself isn't hosting that content. It could just be workshop. So definitely, not online, not any online lobbies, just specifically dedicated hosted lobbies that you have to set up and set up all of the custom assets as well for players to be able to use and stuff like that. But we could expose that through the dedicated lobby, and that would be the only place that it would, be available in online. Again, repeating, everything is always available locally. You can always, we'll never ever get rid of the the ability to override something locally. You can always do it. If you don't like our models or whatever, you can replace it for whichever models you want locally. We will never get rid of that.
It's just that other people won't see it.
Yeah. So and so
I mean, Easy also brung up something that's pretty pertinent to that too. Like you'd have to download a bunch of other people's. Yeah, just have like thousands of different like
models and stuff
from random people.
Somebody on the chat said vampire player model, please God.
Oh God. With accurate jiggle physics.
You get to keep that to yourself.
You get to third person that one up by yourself. But yeah, so hopefully that answers that. It's like an asterisk. No asterisk. The asterisk is, well, sort of. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Ark, for that question.
Ark has another question asking, what will the final form of practice mode look like? Will other practice features like savelocs be merged into it in the future?
Yeah, so practice mode currently is just no clip. You can activate practice mode during a run, and it saves where you are and your velocity and everything. It's basically like a saveloc at that point in the run, and then you can go and, like, for example, look forward and see what's ahead of you and stuff like that. And then when you exit it, you go back into the run at that spot. We're going to be tweaking that. I think the agreed solution was we're just going to teleport you back to the latest zone. We're not going to do the save state in the middle of your wherever you are, because it could be technically abused, but also it's a little jarring. A lot of people aren't, they come back and then they immediately fail, and it's like you just waste more time versus like, okay, if I just restart back to the last stage or whatever. So practice mode in the future is going to be more along the lines of like training. I think data visualization tools could hide in there as more of like a kind of like sync tool and stuff like that for helping rocket jump syncs. Like data visualization could be during that. And I mean, practice mode for the most part, right? When your timer's not running, it technically is practice mode, right? Like the only time you're not practicing is if you're actually doing a run. Otherwise, you're just kind of going around a map. A lot of people just go, save locking around a map to learn like the different parts. If it's a longer map, they practice the different parts that way. So practice mode in general is going to be more of like a just kind of during the run, you can kind of just like, okay, like I need to no clip ahead and see what's going on, or maybe I need to no clip ahead and set some paint up, right, on the ramp or something. And you can't really angle yourself during a run to set up that paint, and we shouldn't have to force you to reset the run after you set up paint, right? So things like that, where it's like it's more of like during the run you just need to do something. The timer, keep in mind the timer is still running during it, so like your replay will basically just be you standing still. So for the most part, like the other goal that, or the other thing that people were talking about is save locking during practice mode, because right now you can create save locks in your run, but teleporting to them cancels it unless you're in KZ, in which case it transfers you over to the teleport category. So for the most part, right, like if we allow save locking during practice mode, you could teleport back to a save lock in practice mode, and like all of this is happening while your main timer is running. So that way you can like practice a section of your run, then go back while in the run and do it. And it's like the timer was running during all of that, so like, yeah, you're just standing still, and then you can immediately do it or something. So yeah, for the most part, I don't know. They might just stay as their own system. And then we just like practice mode becomes like a toggle, and then it unlocks being able to no clip and stuff like that. And like exiting practice mode brings you back to the zone as opposed to where you were in the run, because that's a little less jarring for people. People are used to that from server plugins too. So yeah, it'll be kind of talked about with like runners, what would be best, but I feel like those changes are definitely going to happen. Did anybody else have any input for that? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you, Ark, for that question. Yeah.
Our next question is Marble asking, assuming the main leaderboards aren't based on servers, will bans be handed out for non-cheating instances, since it's most likely lan-type surf?
Leaderboards are on a server, right?
No,
Technically,
yeah.
I mean, you just
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
you upload
they're on
it
our main
and
server.
you're done.
Yeah, they're on our
Yeah.
main server.
But you're not playing on a dedicated server in the game.
I think there's a lot of ways we could go about like punishing behavior. We could be banning people from like public lobbies, or even banning people from private lobbies, or just like muting them. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
Non-cheating
be.
instances, does that mean like conduct?
Yeah. Content.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like if someone's just like harassing people or just being just toxic, I guess.
Yeah. Toxicity. Mm-hmm.
That will happen.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, there's no. It's a matter of when, not if. I think there's punishment. There's definitely punishment that we can do that isn't gameplay related, right? It's more just like preventing you from harassing people or whatever, right? Yeah, like it's gonna be interesting because like the nice thing about this game and the multiplayer in it, right, is like if there is that level, you can report it and then leave and still play, right? You can still like, so if there is somebody that's being a shit in your lobby or server or whatever, right? I mean, servers, the dedicated lobby stuff, you might have to report that to like the server owners and stuff, and that'll be more of like, yeah, they'll be officially banned from that server. But again, they can still play the game, right? So we'll have aspects of like, what damage could people do in just playing the game and like through chat, through their avatars, through things like that. And we'll have proper bans in place for, if people are doing bad avatars, we ban their avatar on the leaderboard and stuff like that, right? Because we have we build a profile around your profile that allows us to like kind of toggle different bans or different flags, and so if we need to, we can. Same thing with names, right? Usernames, we can have you if you have a unsavory name, we can change your name and just lock it from you being able to change it, and so it's just this locked string that's used from the site. So there's definitely avenues there. What were you gonna say, XP-Man?
I guess one advantage of having our lobbies done through Steam is that also you can just not accept any packets sent by blocked users.
Yep.
So even if someone doesn't get banned, you can always just like block them and stop receiving any of their info.
Yeah. Yeah, no chat, no paint, no nothing, right? And it's all blocked, and it would be controlled by you blocking them through Steam, as you probably should anyway, right? If they're being like that. So yeah, and then obviously the report system being built around the idea that you should know if what you're reporting is actually being actioned on, right? So if you get in game and you have like, we should have in the dashboard your report status for like who you're reporting and stuff, and like you can see our comments on it and stuff like that, unless they're internal. We'll have more details on that in the future, but you'll be able to see like if people are actually being punished. Now keep in mind, yeah, it's a free to play game, right? So if they get muted or whatever, they move on to another account, who knows. So keep in mind that like it's all built around like we want that flexibility of like if you want to play just with your friends or on the server and like it should be private and stuff, we'll have that for you. It's not, you don't have to play in public, you don't have to play roaming lobbies and stuff like that. You don't have to deal with these people if you don't have to, right? If you don't want to. Streamer mode's another one. We're going to be disabling like basically all the potential exploitable things in lobbies and stuff. Right, so like yeah, like there's different like avenues that we'll take to kind of protect people playing the game, but also yeah, being able to properly punish the ones that are abusing the game. Is there any other comments on this? Okay, thank you, Marble, for that question. Hopefully that answers that. Yeah, it's very nice. You have more freedom. And that also applies to the people that are abusing, right? They have more freedom. They can still play the game because they technically didn't cheat, right? They're just being a shit. So we'll prevent the shit as much as we can, but until they, you know, break the run submission guidelines that we'll have in place, which is basically just don't cheat, right? And don't abuse our services. Those are like the main two rules. If they don't do that, then yeah, they'll be able to still play and submit runs and stuff. Next question. Thank you, Marble.
This next question, I'm a little timid to address. we might get ourselves in trouble.
Oh no!
Is asking what actually goes down in the meetings voice channel.
Yeah, so every Saturday we have a blood ritual.
Yep.
I mean a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a stand-up meeting where we basically just go over what we did last week and what we're going to do and just any problems or discussions that need to be brought up.
Yeah.
It helps us, as XP Man just said, it helps us coordinate with one another. It helps us keep everybody on the same page. We're able to communicate with what we have done and we're able to address it. Sometimes even collaborate on it if somebody needs feedback on something. This would be the opportunity to present that and get that sort of constructive criticism, that constructive feedback. So it's a way for us to keep things organized as well as coordinate with one another.
Yeah.
Also a good way to know when people are kind of like see what their availability is, because I mean some people when they like leave, they don't really announce that they're going to leave, but and in meetings it's much more likely for you to know what's happening with the people around you, so you can kind of get around maybe somebody not being there for a week or something like that.
Yeah, our team meetings are honestly one of the best parts of the week. Catching up on what everybody's what everybody's up to. Sometimes there's off meetings. We can't go into too much discussion on what happened in those, but it's mostly campaign. Like we're talking campaign story stuff. So prototyping there. If you ever see us in the meetings channel, it's not Saturday at noon EST. Then we're probably doing some other relevant momentum meeting stuff. But you know, not.
Or we're just chatting and hiding from the public.
That too. Yeah.
The meetings channel pretty much acts as our conference room. We have our meetings in there. We will utilize that channel to have little gatherings in there, like Brave mentioned earlier, the blood rituals.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Revitalizing our youth. Yeah.
We gotta stay young.
Yeah.
And the pizza parties.
Virtual pizza party.
Don't believe them. We have a hell in there. Like we have tortures. We have.
No.
That's too much.
It's too much. That's the last time you're gonna see Happy, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, next stream. This is Happy? No. All right. Yeah. So hopefully that answers that. It's mainly just it's serious business on Saturdays, but I mean it's not super serious, right? Because we're volunteers. I'm not gonna fire anybody, but in the meetings or whatever. But we talk about whatever. Usually we talk about what we do. But yeah, there are things that come up that we also talk about, if things are happening on other communities or anything like that we should be aware of, we keep an eye on that too. So a lot of fun. Again, if you like Momentum Mod a lot and think that you can help out with the development of the game, you can always join the meetings, the team, and attend these meetings. Keep in mind, we want people to stay on the team, so it's not meant to be like pop in and out. It is, it's mainly how we stay connected through our blood pact. All right, thank you, Yi. We'll move on from that.
Web devs, please.
Yes, any web devs, please come and help out. we need some web devs. We'll have more info about that soon, and how you could apply to the team.
So our next question is by Mazey, asking, will individual players or clans be able to set up custom leaderboards for categories that don't fall under the main leaderboards categories, like 420 tick or 0 gravity?
I never thought about it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be too difficult, I imagine.
No.
You just kind of give the community servers the ability to kind of see, like, whenever you finish a run on, say, 420 tick, and then just see if they have the ability to upload that, because I don't think we're going to be supporting 420 tick officially.
Sorry, I got a little bit of the burps, but so yes, unofficial categories, the way that we could do it is the leaderboard UI could have a section when you're in a dedicated server. I mean, it will, obviously, by default. But that section, that leaderboard section for the dedicated server could have their own filters as well. And the way that we could do it is that through that panel is how you'll like set whether or not you're doing a 420 tick or whatever meme run. And what it'll do is we'll turn off like anti-cheat or whatever, and we'll submit it to that server, and it can keep track of it. So it'll store the replay. It'll act kind of as the website does in a way, but it'll have that ability to be able to filter based on 420 tick, 0 grav, all of these like custom defined filters that maybe define specific behavior inside the game. So we could have, absolutely, we could have set up dedicated servers that allow you to do 420 tick 0 grav runs on your favorite maps or something. That is absolutely possible. It's just a matter of working with the server owners on how best to set that up, because it's going to be a bit of a configuration file, like hell sort of thing. You got to like set up like a filters like res key values file probably and stuff like that, and like set it up to like point to the right settings. But and then we have to hook up the game to it. But yeah, it's absolutely possible. It can kind of fill in the gap of like, yeah, our site is going to have some aspects of memery or like, like unofficial level of, like run tags and stuff, but we could still have dedicated servers fill in the gap there of like, sure, like the 1000 tick server or something, right? Where you go and do all of your 1000 tick runs or something. You can go and do that, stuff like that. We could look into doing that. Just keep in mind the unofficial part of that is it will not submit to our. You won't get cosmetic XP. You won't get anything because it's not going to go through our website. It's only going to go to the server, the dedicated like lobby. So just keep that in mind. That also means no anti-cheat because it's not going to submit to our site, so we're not going to verify anything. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it is possible. It's absolutely possible. Yeah. Cool. Is there any other information or any other comments that people had? All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Mazey, for that.
Our next question is by Paddy, asking, how likely is Momentum Mod going to stick to current naming conventions found in servers like WRCP, Saveloc, etc. in chat commands, as well as the UI?
Yeah, we've seen some challenges to this with like jump with courses and jump versus what we have now with stages and checkpoints with surf. Yeah, and then I mean, we could rename them per game mode. I think that's what we might go through, but I know it gets a little confusing for, newer players. Why is this called a stage when you're playing surf, but then you go play jump and then it's all different. Yeah, so we do have to kind of consider both of those. Savelocs specifically are kind of becoming more like save states. I know there were kind of maybe a push to rename them to save states.
They are. Yeah. They're going to be renamed as save states. Because it's no longer just location. It used to be just location and velocity, but now it's exploded. Explosions or explosives. It's literally exploded.
And the UI is going to be pretty different. Like, I mean, we just have so much that we can improve. Panorama can really do better than any plugin can. So I mean, it's going to look different. There's going to be changes, but they're going to be better. Else, why would we change them?
I think it's a bit off topic, but I think it's, if I understand the question correctly, it's also gonna depend on the translation, I think.
Yeah.
So I think
that could be difficult.
But the translation is gonna be like from the original name, so names. So might be a bit of a challenge. So please, guys, don't make something complicated.
Right. Yeah. That is kind of the downside, right? Is like the majority of surfing and stuff doesn't happen on foreign languages, and it's on usually an English like server, so it's usually English words for these. So having acronyms for things. The other thing too is we could actually make a glossary, like in the learn tab. We could have a glossary button and like lets you search like terms and stuff, and like could lead you to learn more about what WRCP means. Gamer dictionary. We can have a gamer dictionary in the learn tab. I mean, we won't call it that. Who knows what we'll call it? Maybe like the Momentum on handbook or something. But that could be
thesaurus.
Thesaurus, right? Like kind of looking at alternate terms also used, because we will want to use a consistent term. WRCP doesn't make much sense if it's like a stage, right, in our terminology, so it's no longer a checkpoint. But the idea is that it's an individual like stage, so it might be called IL or IS or something, right? IS is a little confused. IL or something like that. So we're definitely going to look into maybe simplifying a lot of the names down, but keeping track of the alternatives used in servers. So when people come in, they can look it up in the glossary, and we can point people to the glossary on that. It'd be good to also have that in the documentation site, now that I think about it. That'd be also good, because there will be people in this Discord being like, what the fuck is a IL? What does that mean? We'll just be like, hey, look at this, it's WRCP. So hopefully that answers that. Because it's important to kind of have that familiarity, but I think there's also going to be new terms and stuff altogether that haven't been on servers that also are going to be confusing. So having kind of a glossary that explains what it means in general would also be good there too. But did anybody else have any input on that? Thank you, Paddy. We'll move on to the next question.
Our next question is by 0K, asking, is the code or detailed documentation for game mode movement able to be accessible to the public? Like, or for example, new KZ would benefit and get easier feedback from players.
Might be able to just push the relevant code to the game repo, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not Valve code.
Yeah.
Well, not closed source.
It just won't. It won't compile is the main thing. Like the thing, because there's new functions and stuff we can't expose. If we did push game code, we could try to do something like that. We'd have to also make sure it's okayed by Valve, that it's only game movement code, and like we show them what we're gonna try to open. We could try to do that. I like the perfect scenario would be we abstract it so much that it's its own like library, and it just gets compiled in 087 versus the new engine, and it's like the same in both, because it is the same kind of like virtual interface, but it's shared among server and client, so that's where it gets a little complicated. So it could be pulled out into its own library, and that would actually be a really interesting way to do it. It's just that we have to be extremely careful about it. For now, the game repo is the best way to do it. That's, as far as I know, what Lumia has been doing with defrag, and that has been working really well, because you can actually use our continuous integration to build releases for that branch or that fork. So it's absolutely a very good way to go about kind of getting the movement tested in a public sense. Anyone can play it. It's just, it's just not officially in the game yet. And then that way the game code could then be pull requested in to the main repository, and we could use that to pull it into our actual closed source like repo. I would love to open source as much as Momentum specific code as possible. Minus some stuff that has to stay secret, but it's just hard because it integrates so deeply with, like, for example, our game movement code now has portal code in it, and that's not publicly available. Like, we can't do that. So like, how do you stitch it with the stuff that's like otherwise missing, other than maybe doing a bunch of if defs around like if def momentum underscore steam or something, and like have it only be defined on our project? There's ways that we could kind of do it to where it's like we pull out those functions into their own calls and then put them in static files or like other files and have that be included on our Steam builds or something like that. There's absolutely a way to do it. But yeah, it's a matter of like kind of asking Valve if we can. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that. For now, the public repository is the best place to do it, and then through the PR, getting builds through the PR through our runners is the best way to kind of just have an open version of the mode, getting that feedback, and then we can pull it in once it's ready. That's what we're doing with defrag, at least anyway. So hopefully that answers that. Zero, thank you for that question. Did anybody else have any input on that?
I also wanted to say it's not only about putting the code out there, it's also about updating it. And there's not the Git history isn't shared, so it would, I mean, there's probably ways we could do it.
Like a submodule, I was thinking, or something.
Yeah.
Like its own folder.
It's just that there definitely would have to be lots of planning and thinking and organization involved in that. It's not really, it's just not a matter of taking a file and copying it there and then it's going. It would have to be probably a setup, maybe automatic or something like that. So it doesn't have the problem of like when a phone manufacturer open sources their stuff and it doesn't have, like, it's 3 years old and doesn't compile. I don't think it would really be useful if you had like 2-year-old game code there and like half of it works, the other half has changed completely. So it should be up to date if it were the case.
Yeah. So it's code syncing. We would probably use a submodule if we went that route, so that it is in its own repository with Git history and stuff like that. And so any actions to it would be done through that repository directly. But yeah, it's just a matter of like, can we and like should we? And yeah, it's a balancing act. Right now it's like we're getting the game going, and then we're gonna eventually reach out to Valve and ask about that, because it would be very beneficial for us to actually have that be open and then compilable and workable in 087 code. But yeah, hopefully that answers that. We'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Zero, for that question.
Next question we have Yuki asking, would it be possible to introduce local leaderboard similar to Trackmania, for example, your state or your seat or your city?
Yes. Yes.
Does it go that granular to like your city? And
So what we could do is obviously, first of all, it would be opt-in.
yeah, of course.
We currently take your country set by your Steam profile, if it's available. If you have that set and if it's available, and privacy settings and all of that. We don't use it, but what we can do is like we can have you opt in to allowing us to use it to filter based on your country, because all we would do is filter kind of like the map, and then we filter with the like we do a player filter of like each run of country, right? Country, and then we could expand that into country, and then through the site you set what kind of what country or what city, what province. We could do zip codes if you're in US. We could look into kind of doing that more finite filter, but not doxing yourself. Maybe not zip code, that's a little too specific. City-ish around a major city around you. So like for me it'd be Detroit. I don't live in Detroit, but like Detroit's near, So like Detroit, like bigger cities near you, I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be really, really cool. The only thing is we aren't going to verify whether or not people are actually from the country that they say they are. I think that starts to get into like checking IP address, like lookups and stuff like that, which we don't want to do that. So it is going to be user provided data if this is ever, going to be something more serious than just country. User provided data. And it has to make sense. The granularity has to make sense. So there's world, which is by default, right? World record. And then country. We could hemisphere it. I'm just kidding. We could, like the granularity has to make sense. So world, usually like country, and then a popular city near you. Like, in your state or your country. So, because, right, the problem is, a lot of European countries don't have states, so like the state option doesn't make sense if you're, if you don't live in a state. So we need to make sure that the granularity makes sense and provides meaningful data to people. So like best nearby is actually really motivating. Like best in Massachusetts or best in like near Boston or something, right, is really motivating, right? Like you're the best in your area. So if you ever go to a Momentum Mod meetup, you'll be like, sup? Number one, bitches. But anyway, like it could be really cool. It could provide another look at data that's around you and give you another motivation, right, to just do better and get better locally, and then eventually work your way up to your country, and then work your way up to the world, right? 5 hot conkers in your area. Start getting some really juicy ads going. Did anybody have any input for that?
Yeah, we'll Zuckerberg your location out of you.
Yeah, we're gonna integrate directly with Facebook. Give this Zuck more info.
You're gonna have to Facebook account, yeah.
Yeah, we got purchased by Facebook. Just kidding.
I think I can add that. Don't you guys worry about your personal info, because I'm a lawyer and I'm gonna look into it. I will make sure.
Yeah.
I will make sure nothing will, go somewhere there.
Yes. GDPR, we are aiming to be GDPR compliant, and that's why it's like this is data you're giving us, and you agree to that, and like we're not extracting it from you and like shady backdoor shit for like figuring out, ooh, you should play more of these maps because other people from your area play this map. But like we definitely will be wanting this information for like comparison. So the best way to do is just ask people to give you it, right? Like, hey, do you want to compare? And then like you can hit never show again or something, and like you never show it again. But yeah
Neural net that suggests you like
based on your conking ability. Do you live in like Europe? Are you like 35 years old? Anyway, yeah. You have a mortgage? No.
Yes, no.
So thank you, Yuki, for that. Yeah, we'd absolutely love to. There's a lot of ideas from Trackmania that is they overlap very well with our game. And we would love to take inspiration from a lot of Trackmania events, leaderboard styles, filters, things like that. We'd love to, because we're a similar game. It's just that we're not, cars. We're rocket jumpers and surfers and stuff. But yeah. All right, let's move on to the next question. Thank you, Yuki.
Our next question is by Starly asking, will we ever host our own mapping contests?
Yes. Yes, 110% yes. Absolutely. I personally want to. I will give my own money if we have to. But like, we do have the team pool that could also help contribute to it if the team agrees that that's what some money should go towards. I think our mapping contest could be really fucking cool because it goes across game modes, right? Like, we could have different winners for different categories. We could have different, like, best Conc map, best, like best AHOT map. We can make mapping contests for lesser developed modes, right? We could have mappers from other modes come in and try to make stuff like Conc maps and AHOT maps and stuff. I am so pumped because not only like will the voting process also be game wide, right? Like, we could, it's the entire, like, it's so, I can't wait. Cause like, yeah, I definitely want to take notes from existing mapping competitions and contests and stuff, and definitely make sure we're approaching it the right way that mappers enjoy. Cause like nobody, like the main thing out of it is like, unless the map is unplayable, right? It doesn't pass like mapping inspection. All of the maps are added to the game, right? Officially, right? And like, mappers just get rewarded based on like voting and inspection of the maps and criteria based around that. But, like, oh, man, there's so many possibilities because it's more than just one server's one mode. It is 10 plus modes. Anybody can play them. Anyone can vote. Things like that, where you can just get really, really cool, really wide reach for mappers too. It'll be more of like an official process. We'll have like a game-wide announcement in the main screen when they're going on. Go and play these maps and vote on them. So definitely 110% yeah.
So
Anybody
just hearing about that?
Yeah. It's yeah, and I mean, it doesn't even have to have a giant prize pool either, but the bigger the pool, the more you're gonna get out of it. So we'll see how we're gonna actually like set up like the money related side of that, but it would be so nice to structure it around all of the modes that Momentum supports, or specific modes, so it's not too broad, right? The nice thing about one mode's map is you get everybody doing the same mode, and it's a similar goal. Playing them is the same way. It's not you got to learn Conc in order to vote on these maps. But it would be really cool to kind of like help bolster the underdeveloped or I guess released modes, newer modes, right? But also to celebrate mappers of different modes and stuff like that, having that freedom to be able to make more than just one surf map too, so yeah.
If that gonna help, I was a judge for mapping context, but it was for payday too, but I kind of have
Gotcha.
experience how to vote and everything, so hit me up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Momentum team's not gonna decide the winner. That would be rigged beyond hell. I think we're gonna have enough layers in place to where it's like we get popular vote from players, and then we get an official panel that investigates all the maps and gives their thoughts on it. Kind of like the map review teams. We could even have the map review teams kind of look at all of the different maps. We can have top game mode players also look at it and have more weight, I guess, in votes or something. It's the matter of how it's going to be set up is something to flesh out more in the future, but absolutely, like I think this would be awesome. It's part of that community aspect that we can really capitalize on, because we have so much to offer for mappers. So thank you, Starly, for that question. Hopefully that answers that. Well, let's move on to the next one.
Our next question is by Paddy asking, are there plans to feature players or contributions through events or the main through the events or the main menu. For example, mapper collection or some / all of mappers maps for a said week.
So I mean, I don't know how other people feel about that. I think there's definitely room for that to happen. I think that we should absolutely celebrate our community as much as possible, to make highlights of lesser known mappers. I think there's absolutely, like, with the playlist feature, right? You could even have featured playlists if we do that. If we had, you submit a playlist and it like is a part of like the official UI or something. And if you want to play someone's maps, you can make a playlist of all of their maps or something. So having that kind of highlighted on the main menu would be awesome. The main menu is a little finite in space. We have to be wary of that. There is official news that we should show. We should prioritize that over things like this. But I think that something like this could be doable. I think that, kind of celebrating people, like if somebody's on a world record streak, right? We can celebrate them. Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah, that's fucking cool. Like this player just got like 10 world records in this game mode. Like go check them out or something. Like things like that could be just like almost like a streaming social tab, right? It could actually be the social media of Momentum if you think about it, right? Like maps uploaded. That's kind of what the site is aiming towards. Like it's not like a full Facebook or whatever, right? But it's related to Momentum, and having that highlighted and easily visible for players to like, and then being able to follow, mappers to see what they upload, follow players whenever they get world records. We want that to kind of integrate with the game to let you care about people or, maps in particular. You can follow a map and get notified whenever someone gets a world record, stuff like that. You can like, we want to have that aspect as well, right? To make it feel less lonely, right? There's options there for you to be able to kind of pay attention to what's happening. And so, yeah, a celebration of a specific mapper, specific player, definitely possible. And I hinted at it I talked about it in the last stream, the interview stuff. Like for our official like YouTube, we could interview, we could podcast if we want to. I don't know how much media related to stuff we want to do because it's a lot of work. But we could absolutely look into doing like things that expose more of our community to a wider community, right? A wider audience, showing that we have a community in our game. And it's not just play the game, play your map, get out. It's, play the game, join a lobby, hang out with people. Like, just, there's more to the game than just playing the map. And so having that featured on the main menu could absolutely be awesome for it. Yeah. Did anybody have any input on that?
Kind of unrelated, but maybe going backwards a little bit. I think I saw this somewhere else, or maybe I just kind of dreamt it. I don't know. A tourney like using maps all from a specific mapper, which would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just kind of like on the topic of highlighting certain mappers, and that'd be really fun.
Yeah, right. Tournaments can be that like, I guess, yeah, that like flexible is the word. Like you could use whatever game modes, whatever mappers maps. Like if they make multiple game mode maps, like, oh man, there's a lot like that will be really like, you could just make whatever you kind of want out of these, right? So
False just died.
Oh, no.
My camera keeps falling. Well, my camera also knows my phone. Sorry. I think I'll keep it down here.
We'll have to buy you a tripod with our war chest. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but no, that's an awesome suggestion too, Bray, and thank you, Paddy, for that question. Hopefully that answers that. Did anybody else have any other input for that? Cool. We'll move on. Thank you.
Not sure how to pronounce this alias.
Dacciox is how I pronounce it, but I feel like they've been in my chat, and they said the right way to do it, and I said it once, and I forgot it. Ever since
So
then.
we're just gonna continue to butcher it.
Yeah, sorry,
like
Dak. Sorry.
Soy.
All right, yeah, we'll just shorten it. Dak
Yeah.
is asking, with P2CE and Momentum sharing code, would we be able to see Portal's movement accessible in Momentum mod via some unofficial convar?
We could. I don't know why you'd want that. Don't people really hate Portal 2, B-Hop?
It like airlocks you. I was looking at the code that actually does it. It airlocks you, like it.
P2C, you could play P2C.
That's what I'm saying is like, I don't want to overreach our game to where like, yeah, we do share code, but I don't like, we could literally consume P2C. Like Momentum could be a platform for P2C to exist. No, I'm just kidding. But like P2C code is in our code base, but there's like limits to being able to use it that makes sense in the sense of why P2C is going to exist, or why it does and why it's going to exist. P2C is aiming to kind of be that playground for people to kind of, use Portal 2 to make mods and stuff. And I could see there being a Momentum mod-esque kind of mode, or like speedrun mod that Crazy How makes off of P2CE that aims to be that kind of level of like, yeah, there's Portal 2 movement, there's speedrunning related stuff. The nice thing, though, is that savelocs and stuff like that could absolutely be shared. So P2C could use Momentum's timer, savelocs, any code of ours that makes sense in the like aspect that they want it to, right? Like obviously they aren't Momentum mod, they aren't aiming to make a speedrun mod. So just the tools and stuff that makes sense to, even the replay, right? Replay files are most likely going to be used. There are 2 speedrunners on the team working on P2C, Mlug and Blender East. They're working on kind of integrating SAR into P2C. So there is going to be speedrun related like focus. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't want to overstep our boundaries of like, I kind of want to keep Portal 2 stuff to like the Portal 2 movement and like specificality or specifics of like not necessarily the mechanics of Portal 2. Like, so Portal gun and Portal like the tractor beam and stuff like that, the puzzle elements, I want that to stay more in Portal 2 land. That's P2C's realm. But things like gel and things like portals and aerial faithways and stuff like that, that's absolutely like aspects that our mappers can take advantage of. So there's definitely some overlap, but I don't know. I don't think the official Portal movement is going to be ported. It's a lot. It's like a lot of code, like a lot of code. And
yeah,
I don't know how best to fit it in with Momentums. Because it's like it relies on a lot of things in like base classes that we don't have, and that porting it over just for one convar also might not be worth it. So I'm gonna probably just say no for now. Wait until P2C comes out with the speedrun related features, and then we'll see. We can help, right? Maybe implement some of the speedrun features into P2C or the speedrun mod if they end up, kind of branching it off of P2C. But for the most part, like we're not really focusing on adding everything from Portal 2. So sorry about that. But yeah. So thank you for that question. Sorry for butchering the name. Dacciox, or that's what I said, but I think it's decoy or something. If it's maybe more French, but anyway, yeah, where's Trazox when we need him? Anyway, so yeah, we'll move on. Thank you for that question.
Next question by Cawu asking, will there be an easily accessible way to show recently broken records, and will records being broken show up in chat? If so, what about the current lobby?
In chat and lobby, yeah, definitely. Probably even top 10s, group ones. Though, yeah, I want people to be able to turn that off with convars and in the settings.
Yeah.
But yeah, recently broken records. I'm not sure if we have a idea for that. I know I definitely want it in. I mean, Tempest has it, so it would be really nice to have something similar. Even if it's just kind of like a webhook or something.
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they have for Tempest. Like there's just in their Discord you can see who breaks what when, just based on, pacing in that channel, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be nice to have a kind of like a leaderboard for that. I don't know if there's gonna be like kind of like a world record leaderboard where you can see the records for all the different game modes.
Yeah.
How that would work.
Yeah, I think KSF as well as TF2 Surf Timer had a recent records command that you could use to just see a list of the ones that were recently broken.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it would be that hard to implement.
Yeah.
Nope, it shouldn't. Just more web work, but yeah. So yeah. Yeah, just kind of, I guess, my thoughts on each of these. So currently the website does show it's not properly filtering, and it needs more work, but it does currently show kind of like recent activity, and you can see recent world records, recent PBs and stuff. So that kind of in the game some way, definitely could be possible just as a dedicated UI element in the menu. Almost like how you have like your recent runs that you've submitted in the drawer. We could do something like that. Records being broken show up in chat is a bit of a technical exercise because should it be on by default? If so, that's going to be every single player subscribing to the specific map, and then maybe a WebSocket using some kind of event push there. It's not impossible. We do have map following, so whenever something happens in the sense that like somebody beats a record or gets a PB on a map that you care about, that could send a notification to you. They can show up in chat for sure. We could it's definitely possible. It's just a matter of like how best to do it technically. And then the current lobby, people in the current lobby, yes, absolutely. So eventually in the, I think, comparisons update, we're going to update, or maybe the roaming lobby update, we're going to update the chat to accept if a run was submitted and beaten recently. Like you can like in a lobby, if you get like a PB or whatever, it can send that to your lobby and be like, hey, check out this run I just did. It's actually the same tech that racing and stuff is going to be using. So absolutely. Yeah. Current lobby, if somebody's getting a PB or a run finish or whatever, it could submit it to the chat, or, you could see it in the leaderboard. We'll have maybe a tab for a lobby, and you can see like runs through there. And then all of it can be filterable. You can filter it by like, oh, only show me if people get PBs, right, in my lobby, because I don't care about every run they submit. Stuff like that. So being able to filter, but also should things be opt-in by default? I don't know. But sorry for cutting you off, Expert.
Just not to be in like a chat, but
yeah, chat is more of like a notification like kind of panel, but it's like as you play, and then we would need that to be somewhere else. So we do have a notification like panel mockup that's going to be fleshed out more in 090 versions, but
spamming chat.
Yeah, right. Because chat is meant to be chatting with people, right?
Map following is already implemented on the website, but sadly, the way the notifications work is a bit broken right now. So I have like months worth of notifications on maps of just people beating them, and I have to dismiss everyone individually in like a little tiny pop-up window.
Yeah. Any web devs in chat? Please come help. we need some web devs. It's not that it's hard work, it's just that it would take time away from game dev. So absolutely, to have people dedicated on web dev to help fix this kind of stuff is awesome. Yeah, it's notifications and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of the site is just like baby's first like implementation of site stuff. So yeah, I like it's definitely like the backend's being rewritten in C# using kind of more standardized like web dev like methodologies and stuff. So it's moving off of Node but to a typed language, so that, you know, compiled typed language, which is very nice. Yeah, so ideally, right, the performance of the website's going to just kind of keep up with everybody connecting to it and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how we kind of structure how, you know, how messages and stuff are going to be sent out. Because that's, yeah, infrastructure is another one. We use all of AWS to do our game, but yeah. So hopefully that answers that. Cawu, did anybody else have any input on that?
I know the next question is the last, right?
I believe, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of an explosive one.
Yeah.
So maybe I can go through. I have just one question that somebody asked in chat earlier.
Cool. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we answered this in a Q&A, so I'll put it here. From Paul Surf in chat. Is there going to be something similar to demos for us who make surf record videos to use, like SDR, source demo recorder? I don't really know what that is. But yeah, will that be implemented in Momentum?
So we talked about this a little bit in the last stream. Yes, so the replay editing, if you remember that question. Yes, so replays in general will actually allow you to be able to set up cameras and capture different angles. And then we are looking also to do a direct integration with SVR. SDR's rename, kind of rebrand kind of thing. It's same crash fort program to record. And it would be very awesome to have it just kind of in game. So you don't have to do any command line or anything like that. It's just all there for you. You just tweak some UI if you need to. Yes, so the main thing with that is, right, like we need to set up like player model stuff to make sure that we're doing like the proper animations and stuff for you. And then that way you can like replay a replay or play back a replay and and have like different models if you need it, stuff like that, so that you can hot swap out like the demo man model or something, right, if you need that. Yeah, so absolutely, replays will be expanded to support things like that.
Yeah, that's all.
Cool. All right. Very nice. So our last question then for today, it's 2 hours. Nice, we cut off an hour. Let's go. Because we got some gameplay to show. All right, Hex, our wonderful moderator in chat there, asks, what is the progress on adding portals looking like? Are there any status updates or teasers that you can show? Right now, yes. So hopefully this goes well. We're going to go ahead and transition over to playing Momentum for the next hour. I'm going to be showcasing a little bit of the portal stuff that I've been working on. We're going to showcase False's new weapons coming very soon. We're going to be showcasing some of the panorama work that Tom, aka Fingerprints, has been working on. And we're just going to hang out. So this is the part of the stream that kind of transitions from serious Q&A to just kind of chilling out with you guys. We're going to be in a public lobby, which might be a mistake. We'll see how fast that turns into a mistake. No, I'm just kidding. I trust you guys.
Yeah, don't ruin this for you guys. You guys got this.
We're going to remove public lobbies if you guys fuck this up. But no. So let's see. So if we go over to here, this should... Hey, the move transition worked. All right, cool. So let me kind of get on over to this. All right, cool. So layout stuff's a little bit of work in progress. Also, the background, the Momentum mod background here is a little distracting because it's the same white background. But ideally, we're going to have, you can kind of use whatever like webm background you want. Yeah, sorry about that. It does look a little strange.
Oh, rip Happy.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. And I could only fit I could only fit 5 webcams on the left here, and then also this indication of who's talking is a little bit of an overlap. I could move this over to like here or something, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep it here over our webcams because you should be looking at the game, I guess. It doesn't matter. If you need to see who's talking, you can.
What do you mean? I'm dead? Like there's no web, right?
Yeah,
Right.
the webcam.
We ran out of real estate on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm not good looking anyway, so.
No, that's not the reason. No, it just we ran out of space, and we'll try to do better in future streams with layout and stuff. So yeah, I guess just kind of showcasing and walking through some of this stuff. This is our new branding background. You can kind of see it if I turned off the game capture here. It's the background, of the stream. You can change to a dark mode. That's not currently in place yet. That is going to be in place for 090. So keep an eye out for the update blog on that. But yeah, so we now have Panorama. This is the 090 blog is going to go into a lot of depth about what that means, but UI, just in a nutshell, UI is so nice to work on now. So nice to work on now. If anybody used to watch my streams when I worked on the VGUI stuff, it was torture. It was absolutely awful. But yeah, nowadays it is. Oh, it's so nice. It's like it's HTML styled, sort of. It's more XML though, and the idea is we're going to kind of get all of the HUD and all of the UI in place for the 090 updates. So 090 is going to ship with this new main menu and some of the edits to the settings panel as well. So we got our friend Mr. Momentum Mod logo spinning around here. You can change this model, through settings and stuff. Will allow you to do that. Looks really good. You can flick it and it actually has some velocity there. So yeah, you can just keep going and adding speed and it goes crazy. You can't move it around anymore. Like you can't move the camera or anything. You can't zoom in or anything. So it's going to be like that. But it's basically from CSGO. Yeah, same exact code. It's very nice to have that as reference. So kind of just stepping through here. This is it's obviously it's not fully done. There's a honkin' empty space right here down below. That's what's gonna go there, right? It's going to eventually be like the things like dailies, maybe the showcasing that we could do. These are more of the official updates up here, and then we do have the drawer panel that's also non-functional right now. So we still have a bit of work to do, but all of the 090 updates, 090, 091, 092, all of those will be fleshing this more and more, and then eventually we will not have any VGUI whatsoever that we have to deal with, except for maybe the console, but we could probably rename this. Also, nice debug thing. Why is it outputting burger? Okay, anyway. So just kind of giving an overview here. This play button right now opens up a VGUI play screen. This is pretty familiar. Also, the buttons jiggle a little bit. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so this is the map selector, but we'll be touching this up, making this into Panorama. This is still VGUI for now. But we're going to have a cosmetics section, right? So the store, like what you have, your inventory and stuff like that. The learn section, that's eventually coming. And then the settings. So the settings panel, this has been worked on by Tom a bit. If you notice, there's a lovely search button here. So let's say I forget how to change my ghost body, and if I just open this and I type ghost, what do you know? Ghost body. Click on it, boom. There you go. Settings are so easy to find. If you, hey, what about center? Oh, there's center fire for the rocket jump. Stuff like that, right? Like, immediately find stuff. We're gonna have a little button here that lets you clear it. It'll pop up. Right now you have to manually clear it. But yeah, it's awesome. Like our settings panel can actually be so nice. Like we can really flesh it out. And yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Fleshing this out more, giving I think we still have a really awkward Yeah, the speedometer settings aren't even ported because they're that awkward. We're going to be redesigning them and making them better. So yeah, you can go to specific sections in the settings. We can have different subsections all the way through. It's very familiar to CSGO if you played it, so and messed around with it. It's just very nice, very, very nice to have kind of all of this stuff. Looks like we're missing some localization there. We'll fix that. But yeah, so also, wow, there's a big footer for that. Anyway. The thing to keep in mind is right now it's not finished, but the devs are slowly and surely going to just use Panorama more, so that anything like this that we notice are just going to be knocked out and fixed. Right? It's just right now we're still kind of awkwardly on VGUI and like starting to implement Panorama more and more like this. But we will eventually, all of the devs will be on Panorama, and anything that bugs us will be fixed because it's every time we play the game and develop it, we're going to be seeing it. But yeah, so that is the settings. To close it, you can just click on the Momentum on logo. We'll also make it so that if you click the settings panel up here again, it'll close, like kind of making them more like a toggle button. But yeah, so that's kind of the main menu right now. Notifications panel doesn't work. Obviously, so a lot of stuff still to hook up, which we'll be doing in the 090 updates. You can see our player card up here. We're going to be having some customization there. You'll have a player card, kind of like in some other games that you might have seen. You can see your XP, your progress, your level in the bottom corner here. You can see how much of the units, this is the unit logo, and how many units you have, and that'll be for the store. And you'll be able to click on it, and then the drawer panel will open up and show more about your player. Am I missing anything from the main menu? I don't think I am.
I guess we can point out the model spins at the correct speed now on Linux.
Yeah, yep. We closed that bug. Yeah, if you click and drag on the model, it doesn't freaking go like 1,000 miles per hour on Linux. So, yeah, okay, so that's not all we wanted to show. We got some Portal stuff to show, so let me go through that really quick. We're going to go to this lovely map called Non-Euclidean, and there's going to be some asserts because why not? We're on debug, so let me just ignore those. Okay, so yeah, Portal code has been implemented. For those of you that have, we linked it all the time. So these are, if it's not clear enough, these are a little bit of impossible spaces, right? And yeah, so portals allow you to do some pretty fun stuff. There's some bugs like right here. You can see the view kind of jitters a bit when it goes through. It's just some stuff to iron out. I think there's like some code I'm missing. We got 2 impossible rooms here, it looks like, but I'll go through this one first. So just kind of showing what you can kind of do with portals. Just keep in mind that this is like part of the map, but then this is actually teleporting to a different part of the map. And now I'm walking on walls. And yeah, so we do have portals inbound. Let me start bunny hopping and we'll bunny hop through these. Whee! Yeah, so you can bunny hop, you can eventually surf and rocket jump through. In fact, let me actually, SV sheets and impulse 101 for, oh crap, ignore. All right. Oh, let's not spoil that yet, I guess. Let me, do I have, oh no, they overlap, whatever. But yeah, you can throw grenades through. And the idea is, I'm hitting a lot of asserts in debug right now, but you can like throw entities through and even shoot entities through as well. And they look a little jank. That's mostly because we don't delete the particle right now when it goes through the portal. So you see like the giant like stripes of like the teleporting happening, right? Because this is technically a different part of the map. Yeah, so that's some of the portals there. I guess, yeah, to kind of show off like some more of the non-Euclidean stuff that you can do. Yeah, you can do some really fun stuff. And then this tiny inconspicuous hallway can, become this giant like hallway there. Lots of fun stuff. Let me go over here. Let's just kind of explore this map a bit. I might actually hit a couple more asserts. It's hanging out with my buds. And yeah,
What models is that? Are those textures?
I don't know actually. Oh, okay. There's the asserts there. Yeah, these asserts and pauses and stuff that are happening are just because I'm on the debug build. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah, here we go. So this kind of shit. This is like what I'm really excited about. So if you see the sliver here, you can create like alternate views into like alternate like, you know, reality, right? So like now we're in the like pink realm and it's like all destroyed. But let's go back to the, so like, yeah, so it's kind of fucking crazy. It's kind of crazy.
The cool Titans Balls-esque stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So that's now going to be possible to kind of bridge two timelines if you have like a kind of time hop mechanic from Titanfall 2. Yeah. So yeah, portal. Obviously, the rockets go through and they seamlessly teleport through. The only thing that's not seamless is their trail, which needs to be deleted and then recreated. But yeah, then there's also this. So we got a bit of a catwalk on the ceiling. Let's go on up there. Ignore the trails going everywhere. So now we're on the ceiling, and I think if we just kind of jump down here, now we're on the ground. Hopefully this isn't, you know, bending too many people's minds. So yeah, there are some limitations to portals. So as you can see right here, we have one portal here, two portals here, and then I think these two are also rendering. So there's this, oh, there we go. Our portal fast path. So if we turn this off, I think, okay, that's new. I guess I haven't done that. Anyway, or maybe that's recursive. That's just things we're going to be ironing out. But yeah, I mean, you can shoot like you can shoot rockets through multiple portals. They'll go. I think I also debugged this. Like technically, if you shoot a rocket through a portal, it keeps getting teleported slightly like downwards. Yeah. So like, see, like I was aiming right at this wall, and it just keeps going down. That might be the firing angle messing with my reticle, but. Yeah, so yeah, you can kind of just like mess around with portals. This is going to be an 090. It's going to hopefully break a lot of people's minds. It's kind of crazy too, so yeah. So this is how portals are going. There's slight bugs with them. I think if I drop all my weapons here, oh yeah, some end balls. Let's give weapon Conc. So just kind of showing off some more bugs. When you throw a Conc through, the end panel disappears because that's actually not the Conc grenade. That's like a clone of the Conc grenade, right? And it's like, it's rendering on the actual one, but like, you know, this one, you know, like if you go through the portal, like it shows up because you're like looking at the actual one now. It's kind of mind-bending stuff, but yeah, so there's some kinks that we need to iron out. This should have an end panel above it. It's just things like that we gotta figure out. But yeah, that's that. So let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna create a lobby. What type am I on? 2 is public. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and, oh, I didn't get any. Okay, that's fine. I didn't have the debug. So I'm gonna go to the map selector and make sure that I have. Yeah, the rendering of the console behind all the UI is also a bug that we know about. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these models if you want. I'll go to, oh shit. Somebody else is on the map with me here. But yeah, let's go to, what's a map that I can do? Let's do, not internal,
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon, that's it. We'll kind of sticky jump around. Wait, what? Oh, I might not be, yeah, our map selector is pretty busted. But there's also, what's another one I can do? We can do lithium.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, okay, internal.
I'm not sure, but I think the Steam kind of broken because I can download maps through the game, so that might be the problem.
Error
Yeah.
code 200.
Classic.
It's unfortunate.
Is that okay?
So yeah, it's gonna probably be a little choppy because I'm not capturing at 60 FPS, and I'm also on a debug build, and yeah, the Steam build is much cleaner. But yeah, so we got a new stickybomb launcher coming in 090, as well as a new rocket launcher, and we'll look at that in a bit. So yeah, False, do you wanna talk about this while I crappily
Yeah.
sticky jumping?
I mean, I guess it sort of speaks for itself. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
People can get their own opinions of it, but
Meanwhile, Hex
a
is
lot of
fucking
people
going
hate
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the view model FOV at 54? Because it was sort of.
Oh no, it's at
That's
70.
default.
Yeah, so it's at 70 right now. Do you want me to decrease it so that you can?
It was like placed for 54, but I mean, people can increase it if they like people in T2 play at
Yeah.
view model like 100 plus.
We got some
I've done
conkers.
that, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got this new model, and it's sort of a type of like direction. Like this is the type of direction that we want to go in more
Yeah.
with just a general aesthetic of Momentum. This is type of sort of like a foundation type of.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot more involved and a lot more. Just looks better than the previous one that I made like a year and a half ago. So.
Oh damn! Oh no! I have to do this without cheesing. Also, the sticky bombs themselves look like they've been updated.
Yeah. So I updated the texturing on them. Before they were shiny, like super shiny on all maps, but now it properly works with PBR.
Nice.
It's like a nice little metal strip in the middle. I don't know if that's too shiny still, but that can be updated.
Yeah.
If anyone really has like issues with that, it still has the nice glow that. You know, when you arm it, or when it comes, basically the stickies come online, they start glowing, and I think that's like a nice, cool touch. That was in before. Yeah, everything I think looks pretty good. View model with the arms and stuff. Right, we're still using Mr. Gordon Freeman's hands. We're just borrowing them for now, but we will have our own arms, I guess.
Yeah, we're just
later,
borrowing
once
his
we
hands.
deal with it. Yeah, once we deal with getting like a player model and stuff designed and created. So nothing's final, obviously, but we're definitely getting to a much we're getting to a place where more happy with how things are actually looking.
Damn. The custom dodecahedron arms, yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is the animations for the sticky launcher, just firing and doing like a fully charge. I love the fully charge animation.
Oh, yeah.
Where
show that off.
Yeah, when you're like it pulls back.
Yeah.
It, like, starts shaking. Vortex did all the animations with the sticky launcher and did an excellent job on that.
Oh yeah.
There's like tons of personality and stuff. So
yeah, like you're holding back like the raw power of your sticky. I love it. Until it's just right. And it looks amazing. So this is part of that PBR shader that we keep going on about in blog posts.
Yeah.
It really shines. I mean, let me get better lighting than just a single point, but like it really shows off that like metals could look more realistic. And which is, in a game like this could really benefit from like really making it pop compared to other source games that don't necessarily have a PBR workflow.
On maps with really good cube maps as well, the metal just looks amazing. So it's going to be a lot more worth it to have good cube maps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most jump maps don't.
Most
have
jump
very
maps
good
don't.
cube-
I
This one
struggled
definitely
finding
does
like
not.
good maps to actually like test the lighting.
Yeah, you just have to,
I
like,
think
go
SL has
silver or
a
something.
version.
Yeah.
I think SL posted a version of shader test that has like 2K cube maps or something,
Oh, damn. That would be.
or maybe even more. I don't know. It's like I think 160 megabytes big.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's ridiculous. Yeah. The size. But I mean, it'd be cool to like kind of push either like it'd be cool to kind of like asynchronously render like cube maps and stuff for maps. I think that would be something that's like, it would really cut down on sizes of maps to have like the process of building a queue map done asynchronously, and like the first startup of a map, like it does it, and then yeah, it might take more space, but it's, you know, it's like it leads to smaller maps downloaded, and then that leads to, you know, people getting into maps faster, to be able to test them out, because like queue maps aren't super necessary to be able to like play a map unless it's all glass, I guess, because then it'll just be that ugly like queue map texture. Damn, so close. It's a little hard to play on a debug build, I'm not gonna lie. It's like dipping to like 20 FPS because of the debug. Yeah. So this is not what 090 is going to play like, I promise.
Oh, you got the portal traces on too?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's gonna be really...
Yeah.
So,
and this isn't just limited to view models, right? You can
yeah,
the same type of level of texturing with just map textures and things. There aren't many. I don't think there are any maps that really use PBR.
Yeah.
To its full extent.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that like you'll see when we finish up the campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're hoping that other people, you know, take advantage of it in the community. It's a much more modern workflow working with PBR materials and just diffuse and normals and maybe like yeah. It's pretty good.
I feel like the stickies are kicking me back way too much. That might be a bug though. Also, the HUD is like broken on Panorama right now, like the sticky. Just noticing things wrong with probably this build I'm on right now. But yeah, so I'll jump over to a rocket jump map to show off the new rocket launcher. What's one? Do I have summer? Yeah, I do. Oh, the site, what? It must be down. Dang, okay. Yeah. Well, let me just use console and that. There we go. Also, wow, this spam in console. Uncached query. Okay, well, that's something that we have to look into. All I have is bomb, projectile telly, and Vex. Okay, that's not good. I need more dev maps. But yeah.
As some easy jumps, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably saw a little bit earlier, but and if you've been paying attention in the Discord team showcase, there's the new rocket launcher. That's a center view model. So if you're using the Brightfire I don't think it's linked up at the moment, but if you can like change up to the view model, the model that the view model uses to the right side one in the script, I believe. But yeah, you can edit it in the weapon script, but we will have UI that lets you edit it. Yeah. Oh damn. Yeah, it's the new rocket launcher.
The rocket model itself has not been touched. It still uses the previous rocket model, but there will be, I think you wanted to touch up.
Yeah, I'll probably make a personalized, something that like fits with this design more, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I add that?
It's really shiny.
Can I add that if it's not a secret, that I'm gonna make sound effects for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And currently we kinda have like I don't see what you guys showing, but the people probably see the grip, and I think the grip is kinda ready, but I'm thinking about shooting sound. So yeah, I'm working on it at the moment.
Yeah.
So something's gonna come soon, I think.
Yeah, and one of the important things with sounds, especially in our game, is it has to be something that's not annoying, right, to constantly listen to over and over, because like shooting a rocket is going to be happening on these maps like all the time. So it has to be carefully designed to where it's like it sounds good and it's not like it isn't annoying to hear it 2,000 times in a session, right? Like you're going to be playing it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, so since it's like my first sound effect project, I'll try to make everything best, I think. Not think I'm sure of it, but so yeah. Expect stuff soon, I think.
Yeah. Damn.
Definitely something broken. I can't download maps for the game. What the hell, Steam? Is it the Steam?
No, I think it's our site. Our site might be broken, but yeah. So yeah, I definitely love the new direction, I think, for the rocket. Like the nice thing about rockets kind of iterating is like we could have these kind of in development ones come back or be reworked and be another cosmetic in the game if people really like them. Damn, that was so close. I suck. But
I love the current rocket.
yeah. Damn.
Hard to imagine it getting better, because I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But
It reminds me the gravity gun from Half-Life 2.
Yeah, that's true. It has a lot of like that kind of metal, like that would be interesting to see like a PBR. I guess the Epistle 3 games had like PBR gravity guns that they were gonna use, but
So good job, folks.
Could you turn off the center view model?
yeah, I can toggle it. Let me go. Yeah, let's go toggle it and change it to the other one so we can see the right side. So we can. Yeah, let me just give me a sec. So that's gonna be
the full model, the full.
Oh
view.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun thing with making a rocket launcher. You gotta consider not just one angle, but multiple.
Right.
And then you have to animate it for multiple angles. Thank you.
Hold on. I thought that was the stock. Is it not pointing to the new
You just
one?
remove the _C at the end of it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Oh wait.
So the override script
have-
had the wrong one in it. It's all good. Just gotta tweak
I
it.
forgot that's.
And then let me. Well, I guess the rocket's gonna come out of my eyes, but this is the right-sided rocket launcher. Looks more like a giant freaking rocket launcher that it's propelling you through these maps. Oh, damn it! I'll get there. There we go. Oh no, fuck! I suck. I should not be the person playing. I should like spectate people, but we gotta add more stuff to spectate so that we show guns while spectating, which is the whole. Just one rocket on the first one. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because okay. I just need to also be better. So.
Be better.
Damn it.
interesting decision to fail that jump.
Fuck.
It saves 2 frames.
Damn it. Okay.
I
Jump
really love
6
how it
is.
responds to light.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
part of
wanted to
that
really
PBR.
show off that, like, the PBR and the metallic feel.
Yeah.
All the weapons in TF2, which is what I used as sort of like a reference point to begin with. TF2 doesn't really have a lot of shiny metal,
Right.
Everything's sort of just this sort of like a very faded like shine over everything, but
Yeah.
you don't really get distinct edges and things like that with lighting reacting to it. So yeah, it's really nice to see that in a source game,
Right.
in a jump map, Just like a whole new generation of what's possible.
Am I gonna? Oh, I'm not gonna do it. I wasn't prepared for the ending of that platform. Fuck. No! I'm trying to go fast. It's like the goal of the game. Oh, okay. I'm gonna ease down. Damn it. Dang it. I've been beaten. But yeah. So as you can see, I suck. But I'm making this game so that I can get eventually good at these modes because I love it. Like I could sit here for the next like 2 hours and just play this map because it's just I find these modes so much fun, and you know it's just all coming together to just like really form this awesome platform that I cannot wait to share with basically everybody that wants to play, right? So, oh no, the freaking assert got. Oh wait, saved. Oh fuck, the assert cheats. Let's go. It's where you insert a debug statement.
Assert glitching.
Yeah, you just compile the game in debug and then go on a map and hit some random assert, and yeah, you get some fun gameplay off of that.
Debug percent.
No, fuck, so close. But I guess I can't show it because I'm on Panorama. I guess I get mom spectate. So something to show is we do have rockets working, and you'll see XB Man's rockets show up here. We just don't have view models synced up. So like, yeah, like ideally in the future, press my D key to toggle mouse capture. Sure.
Yeah, someone said that in posted that in book. I don't know.
It looks like maybe the button enum is off sync, maybe because it's control actually. Anyway, tons of bugs that we'll eventually iron out because we're busy coding, but then we take breaks and play the game and catch all this stuff, and plus play testers catch it and report it, and we just go and fix them. No pressure, XB. You're in front of 1 billion people watching right now.
I'm gonna admit I've been jumping in TF2 a lot, and
yeah,
I cannot.
The timing is throwing you off.
The timing for sync is throwing me off. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, so yeah, that's a bit of the preview, bit of Portal previews. I mean, is there anything else we should show off right now that's, I guess, ready to be shown off? What else do we have? We have Portal. That was the big thing. The big thing is portals and just opening that up to mappers to be able to make maps with portals.
Did we go over the main menus?
Yes. Yep. Went over the settings and stuff.
Maybe.
What was that?
Too far done. Saveloc stuff.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, good catch. So, let's say I'm a giant ass scrub, and I'm gonna
down.
Yeah. So we've expanded savelocs to now have your explosives that you've created inside of them. This is not the best stage to do this on, but so let's say I'm right here and I'm like, I need to, practice this jump. So you can now saveloc, and I mean, let me get a better one that has like a rocket in play. Damn. Okay. Well, let me, I guess, just beat the stage real quick.
Like a sync level.
Yeah. Yeah. Syncs. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Do I have map RJ? Does Vex have one? I feel like Vex has one. Let's see.
Most map has one.
Apex. Oh, it.
Jump
Yeah.
forward.
Shit. I could have just no clipped.
Just do a Quint.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So
And the audio like maxes out and freaks out.
Oh god. DSP off helps, but then it's like a higher limit. It's like 10 start to do it. So yeah, damn. Vex is gonna be hard. But yeah, like you can let me just go to a sync jump real quick. Is that the 3D sky? Oh yeah, it is. No, it's not a sync. Well, it is, but it's on a wall. Can't do that yet. Not that good. This one's kind of a sync, so I guess like just showing this off. So like, yeah, if you have like, damn it. Fuck. Okay, yeah, let me just. Yeah, I just need a big drop. Honestly, I don't need.
Or you'd do it from practice mode, like exiting practice mode, probably.
Oh, doesn't it fizzle now? Oh yeah, no, okay. So yeah, like the idea is that all of your explosives now save with savelocs, and the other aspect is they are still shareable. So if I had the menu, the proper menu, to see the people in my lobby, I could share savelocs with people and download their rockets and stuff. So whenever people create savelocs, this will also benefit things like Jump Academy, right? They can have savelocs that kind of help per jump, right? And so you can have like a saveloc, like saveloc 1 be like a saveloc for jump 1 or something. And you can download that saveloc and have like the rockets and stuff set up. And honestly, right, like it's just going to be so cool to like see like how much more of a help that I keep calling them savelocs. They're going to be save states eventually, but so like if you need to practice this this sync here, me kind of.
Does it work with spectating? I could sort of show it off. Maybe.
Like creating savelocs from spectate? I don't think so, because it doesn't.
No, like just spectating someone who's save locking and stuff.
So like as you can see here, I got a saveloc with the rocket coming, so now I can just practice this sync over and over again, and I'm failing it. But hey, it's gonna help me get better, right? So eventually I'm gonna get this jump. So this extends over to stickies as well as rockets, and concs. Yeah, that's right.
So the weapon stuff isn't saved yet. So
Yeah.
like stuff like charge on
does
the
it
weapon
recreate the
isn't
sound?
saved.
Oh, I turned off. Okay. Sound trail enable. Oh, okay. So wait, I guess it's just not playing the trail sound.
It should.
Does the script not have it? Oh, was Rocket Trail renamed in the sound data? I
I
forget.
don't think so.
Either way, right.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my center. Let me doop. Cool. So yeah, I think it was renamed. So yeah, that override script just needs to be a bit touched up, but that's no problem. Oh yeah, and we also got fizzle sounds now for rockets. Yeah, so now you can hear the sound is working when I teleport back. It's like a ghost is shooting me rockets every time I teleport back.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of annoying because it doesn't like save the trail or anything. It just kind of recreates it at the point where it was.
Yeah.
With like the velocity and stuff.
Yeah.
I assume you took the monolith one, right?
Right now it is still the monolith sounds, but we haven't changed, like, updated any of them yet. So, like, the sounds are still all the old ones, which is monoliths.
Yes.
But yeah. So, anything else that I should kind of show off, I guess, before 090's official blog post is going to reveal it all anyway? I'm trying to think. There's Conc stuff. I mean, I guess we can go and do a Conc map. Conc speed whip. Why not? Let's do some Conc. Let's end it off. Please play Conc. This is what Conc is. We'll show you guys what you can do inside of the concussion grenade boost mode. Let's lift some weights. Yeah, why not?
I think if False is okay with that, you can like tease that rocket launch grip sound I made if you want.
Yeah, I'd have to download it. So we'll definitely get the sounds in a video for the for the changelog. So we'll get it there, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Like we'll get the sounds there. Oh man, we got the Conkin crew here. All right, hold on, I gotta step up. Oh fuck. Okay, so Conc is an interesting game mode where if you stand directly on a Conc, it doesn't really do much to you. Kind of gives you a smaller boost. But the idea is that the further away you are from a concussion grenade, the more of a boost that you get. So you kind of throw it and then just kind of jump away from it. This is from Team Fortress Classic for any boomers in chat. And you just kind of use concussion grenades to kind of go all the way through the map. And it's some pretty crazy stuff that you can do with these grenades. So it's all about timing. So like right there, right? Like you can throw one. You can actually kind of throw as many as you want, but keep in mind that the timer here is important, right? You don't get the boost until the timer happens. It's like sticky jump, but the timer, it's not at will at will explosions. It's at timed explosions, so you have to time it. These gamers with their freaking Concs, let's go. Oh, and this guy's just freaking cheating. Oh my goodness. Yes, if you want to see somebody that is really good at concussion grenade boosting, I recommend Maxim. M-A-X-A-M on Twitch. He does a lot of Momentum Mod Conc. I'd also recommend joining our Discord and paying attention to the live streams channel because it streams or it announces whenever anybody plays Momentum Mod, so you can check them out then. That's kind of how I snoop on everybody who's playing the game that streams it, at least. Oh my god, what the fuck? I'm about to cheat. I'm about to pull out the sticky bomb launcher. There we go. We did it. This is actually not that bad of a jump. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Conc because I have to freaking test it. Is he gonna go all the way? Oh, this is so silly. Oh my god. Oh, too late. This is all about timing, so a lot of it is just kind of getting the timing down for these jumps. There are harder maps. We actually do have more maps now. I think the website's just like down or something. I need to go check it. Who's sticky jumping? That's Hex, the cheater.
Damn it.
Superior game mode. I'm gonna be. I probably shouldn't have said that on stream.
No, you're fine. Everybody has their preference, but there's only one correct answer for the best game mode. And it's whenever the tip shows up and says.
This game mode is the best game mode. Good choice.
Okay, well, I'm not really giving Conc justice here. I'm sorry. Is there somebody that's actually good at Conc in the game right now?
I like Prime.
Okay, watch Juice. Let's watch Juice.
But yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. I just suck.
Juice is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then hold on. There we go. Make that a little smoother. One interp tick, which fixes 100 tick spectating for some reason, which we got to figure out more. But yeah. The true beginner experience. Hell yeah. Is it going to be auto hop? Still being debated right now by the community. We also don't network when Concs when Concs are fizzled right now. We're gonna eventually do that. Is defrag gonna be auto hop? Probably. We'll see though, because there's a way to kind of design the game mode around not wanting to auto hop, but having it be there in case you need it. Kind of like Conc is right now. Like you don't have to bunny hop if you don't need to. But for defrag, it's so focused on that. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of, in my opinion, got a bit of an identity crisis that it needs to figure out before it's implemented, because I don't know if we're going to have 4 different types of defrag in the game. I'd like to have maybe 1, at most 2, having kind of more of a more natural CPM, right, that people are used to, versus maybe the momentum style of defrag, because there's so many liberties that you can take by having multiple games worth of defrag, right, taking different aspects of different games, which is kind of in the spirit of momentum, right, making our own thing from that would be very nice. We're in an online lobby. This is online multiplayer. You can chat. You can say whatever you want, shit talk people, though hopefully don't do that to random people. We might have more, yeah. We might have more stuff. Like, I don't know if we'll do voice commands. They're kind of funny. We might do it as like an April Fool's kind of thing of like, yeah. Don't be mean in Conc lobbies. You can be mean in any other lobby but Conc.
Don't say.
Don't say.
But yeah, so man, we got a lot of work to do, but a lot coming, and it's just a lot in place already too. Like, it's actually kind of amazing that like there's somebody sticky jumping and conking in the same map, you know, with 0 ping. Like, me watching them is not affecting their gameplay at all. You know. Yeah. So I'm super pumped to show more of this game, to, you know, answer more questions that you guys have. You know, get you guys hyped about the game, because it's 1.0 is going to be awesome. Like, it's not even done either. Like, that's the most amazing part, I think, is like, yeah, it's just, there's, oh man, there's so much.
There's so much already, and there's so much more to come.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
come a long way
Conc.
too.
Oh my god.
It's just, yeah, it's come such a long way too, and it's just, you know, it's amazing. So it's only gonna get better. Hex with his illegal sticky bombs, air pogoing through the map, beating Juice here.
Does have good CSM shadows too, right?
Yeah, this has
Yeah.
Oh my god.
CSM. So
love
this
it.
is CS:GO's global light technology. The kind of shadows you see on this map are the, you know, the sticky bombs having these shadows, the conks having these shadows. This is all CSM, which is
Individual
CS:GO's.
shadows.
Yeah, CS:GO's shadowing tech. And it makes the game feel more realistic too, more realistic lighting. And that's kind of what we want. We don't want to go ray tracing, right? We don't want that kind of negative FPS sort of gameplay. We instead want to have, you know, a mode that is like, or a game that's like, that performs really well but can look really good too. Like, we want that balance of like, you can have really good stylized stuff that's not that hard to render, right? Like, yeah, look at the water. Fucking water. Just like glitches out. Yeah, and there's no beeps or anything right now. There's a lot of stuff we gotta hook up with online. It's just a matter of doing. It's nice. Juice is crushing it right now. But yeah, so yeah, and so I mean, just kind of, I guess, sort of wrapping up the stream. We're approaching the 3-hour mark. This is, you know, these streams are going to aim to be more and more casual, right? We'll like eventually be doing this, maybe have more of an official section at the front, sort of like the FAQ, you know, Q&A rather. And then, yeah, unanswered questions that are asked in the Q&A live, that are either asked live, like during it happening, or after. Yep, they're for the next month. Ideally, we're going to have more and more frequent streams as well. We'd like to at least show off more of the game as we're, you know, making it or doing it. Congrats, Juice, on your sick PB. Yeah. We got a yee up in the sky there. So yeah, I think that's where I'm fine ending it here. We're 10 minutes, a little 10 minutes early, but you know, I think we did what we set out to do. I'm also hungry and need, you know, I need to eat dinner. So
Yeah, same.
I think it's a good place to call it.
40 degrees. I'm gonna have a freezy.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
40 degrees Celsius for any Americans in chat.
Yeah.
It's not almost freezing outside and she's having a freezy. That would be.
Degrees, I'm gonna be a freebie.
40
Yeah.
degrees is freezing.
Yeah. Well, it's 32 in freedom units,
You
but
sure with it?
yeah. But yeah. So is anybody streaming? Is anybody gonna stream Momentum Mod? Because we can
I
raid
think
you.
there's someone live.
Is there?
Oh, also, I think there was a
Open.
half sideways or like a sideways surf tournament going on. I don't know if that's still going.
Someone is streaming Momentum playing.
Heck yeah! I mean, why not? Let's go raid them. They're playing the game, unless they're like playing CSS under the Momentum on category. Cool. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go raid them. All right, so that's gonna be it for the stream. Let's, I guess, wrap up here. The main purpose of these streams is aiming to be kind of more connecting with the community, answering your guys' questions, and yeah, just in general, hanging out with you guys, celebrating you guys and stuff. So look forward to more streams more regularly, but every month we are going to do kind of more of a Q&A focused one, which is what this one is, but you know, it'll eventually become, you know, its own kind of thing of like, maybe we do them more regularly if there's more regular questions or something. So yeah. All right, so
If anybody has any suggestions on how to improve anything, or has any suggestions on any of the game modes or anything in particular, feel free to post them in our suggestion channel in our Discord.
yeah.
That is most likely the one place where we'll be paying attention to making these sort of improvements. So that is where you would want to voice your opinions, please.
So that's it for the stream then. Definitely leave any feedback if you have any in our Discord. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next stream. Let's, I guess, set up the raid here. Yeah. So catch you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, make sure to watch the, you know, the VOD if you missed any of these questions. Share the VOD for people that have answer or questions that we answered, and hang out in our Discord. And yeah, looking forward to the next time, and take care.
Have fun, my friends. Have a good sleep.